All right. Thank you so much, Troy.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay,
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm just getting my volume up.
Okay.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Mayor. We
Good
we
evening.
gonna do that at 7 o'clock, right?
Correct.
Okay, we all set.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You get you some continued rest, man. You sounded terrible.
I know, man. I'm doing it.
Okay.
All
Good. Thing.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Williams.
I seen Pastor Mac on the line, so we'll get him to do the prayer tonight.
Yes, sir. That's why he's on the line. He's getting started. You got me trained.
Okay.
All right. Good then. Good evening, everyone. The time is now 6:01, Tuesday, January the 19th. Welcome to orientation session for the City of Inkster City Council. We'd like to get this meeting going. As it relates to the agenda for tonight, I would like to add a couple additional things. One thing under presentations, if it pleases this body, to be presented by Jerome Bivens, proxied by the superintendent for DPW, Latoria Joyce, as it relates to the update about the lead survey that has been done. So I just wanted to make sure that it pleases this body as it relates to the agenda to add that. I want to add that to under presentations. And we won't be before you long, but we just need to bring you up to date. I did send out the email as it relates to lead service testing to all of you today. And it is posted. Hopefully Troy got it posted before tonight's meeting on our website as well. I just wanted to give you that update. Also, too, if it pleases this body, the Allen brothers, our attorney, sent in his invoice, and it didn't make it on time for tonight's agenda, but we could place it under the consent agenda if you guys want to, or we would wait until next meeting and place it under the consent agenda, but it'll just be a double invoice. So it's totally up to this body. Does anybody have any objections to put it on the consent agenda for tonight for consideration?
Got to pay him. I don't got no problem with it. You got to pay him.
Yeah, everybody should actually have the actual documentation from Allen Brothers as well. He sent out an email around 5 o'clock with that information. So if you want to, if anybody has any objections, I think we're all here. I know that Mayor Pro Tem will be running just a little bit later just because of her schedule, but I think everybody else is here. Okay, hearing no objections, we'll add that as well under the consent agenda for the Allen Brothers invoice. All right, going around as it relates to the agenda, this is our time that we use for orientation to talk about the agenda, any questions that you may have about the agenda. So the floor is open for any questions or comments as it relates to tonight's agenda. City Council?
I just wanted I found out where that piece of land that was over. That's not in my district. It's in District 6. It's right there by the old fish market on Michigan Avenue. The land is right there on Spring Hill, is what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one. I think she's trying to get some more land to that fish market building. I think that's the same lady that owns it. So I just wanted to bring that out since it was on the agenda for tonight.
Okay, and this is item number you're speaking on?
Okay, now I'm ready to go through all these pages here now.
Okay, is that G? That couldn't be G. I know you were calling me earlier about the one between Walnut and Annapolis. It's actually Pine and Andover.
The one she had on Spring Hill, but right here.
Okay.
H.
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, H. Because I looked at it, and she said after $1,000, that actually land is on Michigan Avenue and Spring Hill. But it's on Spring Hill, but it's close to Michigan Avenue. It's right behind the old fish market.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's trying
I
to
know
get that land. She's the owner of that fish market.
Yeah, we're in the process of going over her plans and then getting ready to submit it to the planning commission. And the footprint that they have there, they needed just a little bit more land to extend because they're putting in new parking, also the alleyway there, and extending the building out a little bit. So,
All right. Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing.
okay. So that was item H.
So how's everybody tonight? Good evening.
Yeah.
I got the heads down and everything. Lift your heads up high. It's a good day that the Lord have blessed.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So yeah, I mean, we got quite a few items on tonight's agenda. Again, we want to use this time at 6:00 when we get together and for council to ask any questions and for administration to be able to answer those questions or get back with you with the answers before the general meeting. So we all agreed to get here an hour early before general meeting at 7. So
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
please,
On,
Councilman
on
Chisholm.
item A with the Jeep, can we get some more detailed information on how it was determined that the engine was blown?
Okay, yep. Mr. Bivens, you want to speak to that? If you can, you can.
Yes, sir. To the council, we have a mechanic over at DPS. That morning, Miss Joyce called me and she said, Jerome, the engine is knocking, it's making a very loud noise, and I'm barely gonna make it in. So when she made it in, I had him pull it in, and he took it off and did a quick, the heads are knocking, they're cracked. So it's spewing oil. It already had an oil leak. It just got worse.
Now, Jerome, how old is that car?
The car is 14 years old. We bought that car from Miss Parker when she was city manager in 2006, even though it's a 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee, with 120 miles on it. And I had replaced it. I used to drive that car, so I had replaced the engine once already on that car. It has several other items wrong with it. It has really no value to us anymore at all. It served its purpose. It's lived its useful life for our intentional purposes.
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere. That's the 3.7 V6 engine in there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that black Jeep everywhere, and I've seen all of y'all driving it. So I was just curious.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on item A? Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman Shaw.
Now, do DPS have any more vehicles in that lot over there that's up for sale? Because usually what we did in the past is that we had these vehicles up for auction. I think I asked about this before. Was you going to bring these vehicles or any other type of equipment to the public for auction?
Yeah. Go ahead, Drew.
Councilman Shaw, or to the body. Yes, we have a fence full of vehicles over there that's totaled out. That we're going to get rid of. I'm just waiting for this spray. And we have a company that we deal with. We got to bring them in, let them assess the situation, give me the information. I'll forward the information to you guys. And then those vehicles will remove, because trust me, the mayor's been on me about getting the vehicles off the fence. So I'm going to get them off the fence this spring. There's a bunch of them over there.
Yeah, and that's including IPD as well. So
Yeah,
also
yes, that's everything on that fence.
So, you said you're bringing in a company to do what? I didn't get that part.
Bringing in a company we have a company that we work with that was approved by a former council that we work with. It comes in and assess everything we got on the fence. It tells us what our value are. I get that information, give it to the treasurer, to the mayor, and we can share it with you guys. And then say nay or yay, he purchases those vehicles. I get him clear, free title once the mayor signs them, and then they're gone. You know,
So
that's how we've sold other. We can't. These vehicles are not vehicles that you can drive. These vehicles are total.
no.
These vehicles have been in an accident. They're smashed up. I mean, they're in pretty bad shape. If you guys like, you can come over here anytime and take a look at them. But these are no vehicles that you will see driving on the street.
Is them the ones in the police lot? Them not the ones in the police lot, right?
No, these in my lot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
this
Yeah,
over
but
here.
we're working in conjunction with that too.
Yeah,
Because
that too.
we do have ones in the lot, but a lot of the ones that you see over in the police lot are there because of investigations that's happening with those vehicles.
Right.
They have to be under lock and constant surveillance.
So, Mr. Chair, why wasn't this vehicle here be a part of that auction?
Uh,
Go ahead, Mr. Gibbons.
Councilman Shaw, Mr. Davis approached me and asked me that I have a problem with selling him that vehicle. I approached the mayor and the treasurer, and they had no issue with it. And time to time, we have sold employees vehicles in the past, you know, before they went to auction. So, yeah, this vehicle is it really has no value. I wouldn't. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, it's like you said, it's 14 years old. You know,
If you
I
scrap,
mean,
if you scrap it, Jerome, just talk about scrapping it because I know
if we go
came up.
it's scrap. So you would get anywhere from probably $300 to $500 for that vehicle because it's really scrap.
Okay, I mean, I just want to make sure that it's a fair process to the public as well. You know, that people can chime in on those types of vehicles, whether they're scrapped or not, but have the opportunity to be able to say, okay, yeah, um, I would like to buy that. You know, is it open to them to be able to come in and say, you know, I want to buy it to anybody?
I wouldn't these vehicles I wouldn't open to the public. I mean, he's taking this at his own risk. I wouldn't open that because the public's gonna want to buy something that they can just pull out the lot and go. This you gotta tow it. You talking a couple $1,000s worth of work got to be put into that Jeep. The heat it comes on and off. I mean, it cuts off. It has exhaust fumes coming up in it. You smell gas when you're driving. You know, the mayor has rode in it. So yeah, it's not something I would recommend sell it to the public.
I mean, yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying that, you know, as far as a fair process where, I mean, even if somebody wants to take the risk, is it available for anyone to come in to the DPS or to the mayor's office and say, you know, you have a vehicle back there, can I purchase that vehicle, assuming the risk?
Yeah, they can, and I can discuss that with the mayor and treasurer. But we always, you know, we look at our employees. We look at them too. I mean, they work here. You know, we
Oh,
get
yeah.
a fair shot. But I wouldn't. I mean, he came to me. I wasn't trying to sell that vehicle to nobody. I was going to scrap it.
Okay.
I wasn't going to sell it to nobody. It was going to get scrapped.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
That's all I'm asking. I mean, I have no problem with it. I mean, I just want to make sure that it's an open process where, you know, folks can come in and say, hey, Jerome, I see you got something over there in the lot. I would like to purchase it. Can I do so?
Yeah.
So there won't be, you know, no conflict of interest there.
And that's why I prepared that council request, sir, for this very reason. So when
Yeah.
when it's approved, people won't say I gave him that vehicle. You know.
Yeah, and that's the point of clarity that even if Jerome, you know, somebody come from the general public and say, hey, I want to buy something, it still has to come to this body in order to be sold and transferred. So
Yeah, and see, and that's what I'm saying, Mr. Chair. I like that to be open to the public, or to not just to the public, but to our community.
Yeah.
So that they
Yeah.
can be able to have an opportunity, if it's on the city website or what have you, if it's on the city access channel, that they can be able to say, wow, I didn't know that the city had those types of vehicles for sale. I would like to, purchase one of those vehicles. Can I bring it to the council, or can I bring it to the mayor's office?
I have no problem with that, sir.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Item A. Okay, let's just move through item B. Any questions on item B?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman Shaw, item B.
I didn't see the account number that's coming from. You got 19,640. What account is that coming out of?
VJ, you want me to answer that, or you're gonna answer? Either way, I don't matter.
Yeah, do you have that offhand? Otherwise, I can look it up, try to find that.
It's just costing to the council. It's coming out of the water fund. Or it'll be a five, but it'll be a 592-564-935-000.
And what this
Am I-
vehicle is used for?
Am I correct, VJ?
I'm pulling that up right now. Give me one.
Yeah, give me that number again. I didn't get it.
592,
592.
well, 564 935-000.
Okay, it's coming out of the water account, but what is this vehicle gonna be used for?
It's going to my assistant.
Your assistant?
Yeah, it's going to Miss Joyce. She was the one driving that black Jeep.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the vehicle maintenance and repair line under water and sewer.
You got that, Councilman Shaw?
And Jerome, if I'm not mistaken, this is where we discussed and you specifically looked for a used car to ensure that we were saving money on this purchase, rather
Yes,
than
sir.
going out and getting a new car. When Jerome and I spoke, he turned right around, he looked for a good deal, and he was able to find one. So,
Yes, sir. This is that. Yes, this is what we discussed.
Okay. Councilman Shaw, was your question answered?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out what that vehicle repair. So normally vehicle repair is coming out of water and sewage vehicles, or what is that? Or what maintenance is that coming
That's-
out of?
That's our vehicles over there, sir, that we drive.
Okay, out of the water and sewage. So you're using some of those dollars out of the vehicle repair
Yes,
to
sir.
purchase the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And I think where we at? 82,000 we budget for?
I believe. Yeah, I don't have my budget for me, sir, but yes, I believe so.
yeah, that's right. It's almost 83,000.
Okay. So
Which-
up to,
What that kind of does when I look at that, it leads me to believe that because there's not a specific vehicle purchase line item there, that it was baked into there.
okay, because what you're saying is that you're trying to use the next fiscal year budget to use those dollars as well?
No, we're buying this outright, sir.
Yeah.
In this budget year, in this,
Right now. Yeah,
Right.
we yeah, if you guys approve this, we will be getting that car this week.
Yeah, because the engine went out in the other one, and Ms. Joyce is without a vehicle.
Yep. And just
She
to
is
bring
on
this,
call 24/7.
just to bring this to everyone's attention, as of 12/31/2020, so again, the budget there is 82,850, and as of 12/31/20, we had almost 28,600 spent in that
Okay,
budget
yeah, I
line.
see that. I see that. I see that. Okay. And then you're gonna add another 20,000. Okay, okay.
Yep.
I got you. I got you.
Okay, any other questions on item B? Item C, is pretty standard. I mean, it's just something that we do every year for the most part.
Now, Mr. Chair, I do have a question on it.
Yeah.
It talked about, us, what if we opted out of that? I'm just curious about it. If we opted out on that,
Mhm.
what's the dollar amount of the difference of opting out?
I mean, it could be all the way up into 800,000 like we received for the community development block grant. So we would just be opting out of the community development block grant. So last year, 200,000, the year before, I believe it was 200 and some odd thousand. So, each year possibility, up to $1 million.
Okay, here, I got my notes now. Okay, now if we opted out of it
Mhm.
and apply for the small cities or state CDBG, to what's the difference would the amount be?
We would just be competing against the county.
Okay.
They're not gonna let you. They're not gonna let you do anything because you're a small
Hold
city.
tight. Hold tight for a minute. Hold tight for a minute. Okay, now repeat that over. I didn't hear you.
We would be competing against the county.
Okay, so the city would be okay. Okay, that's what I want to know. Okay, thank you, sir.
So one of the things that when we looked into that, we found out that because we're a small city, okay, that they lumped all of the small cities together in order to be able to benefit from the money.
Wayne County's going after it for us, basically.
Right.
So it's like 38 other cities that we're
And now that they really switched over from the year before last year, they switched over now. They're letting a lot of that money go. They put it back in there for cities like Inkster, Ecorse, and Pontiac, not Pontiac,
Highland Park,
Hammond Park, places like that now can benefit from the block grant money. Okay, that was one of the things that was at the issue of the table when I used to go out there with Tim Williams and
Richard Marsh.
what's the young lady's name? I'll think of it in a minute.
Okay.
So,
All right. Any other questions or comments as it relates to item C? Okay. Item D. Item D, special land use for the new gas station at Middleboat and Michigan Avenue. No questions. All right. Item E, special land use and extension for the marijuana cultivating center that was approved in 2019, I believe, for an extension. Is that it? Yep.
you want to explain that kind of like to us, Mr. Mayor?
Yep. I'll let Caitlin do it. Caitlin,
Okay.
please.
We're asking about the extension on Southern.
Correct.
So it was approved in November of 2019, I believe, and they came forward asking to continue on with to do the extension due to the same reasons as the previous one. I think the previous extension that was granted by you guys. I think we're going to have a lot of people coming forward asking for extensions just because of the delay that COVID has caused. And I would hate to make everyone re-go through the processes of applying for a special land use when they were previously approved because of things they couldn't control.
Gotcha. So this was approval in November of last year. You said November. Okay, yeah, November the 4th. So how much time do they typically have? Is it 24 months?
So they're supposed to complete their final site plans, and then they're supposed to have 1 year.
Okay,
His final site plans were never completed.
okay.
Have they done anything yet?
As far as I know, they've only cleaned out the building. They can't grow or anything in the building, but I don't think they've done anything else.
Okay, any questions on item E? All right, hearing none, item F.
Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry,
I
Councilman
did,
Shaw?
I did want to, if we have time to back up to item D, I just wanted to know real quickly what that zone, the gas station, what area, what is that zone as right now? Is it a B3 that is zoned right now?
Correct.
So he need a special land use for,
Because it's a gas station. It's gonna be a new build for the gas station. The previous land, from my understanding, I mean, if anybody on this call can help us out, there used to be a gas station there some odd years ago, but I can't recall when the gas station used to be there. But yeah.
I remember.
Caitlin, do you know?
Yes.
I believe there's underground tanks there, so it would probably was a gas station.
Mr. Mayor, you talking about Michigan Avenue with Middlebelt?
Correct.
Yeah, it was a gas station there.
Yeah.
And when the EPA passed a law that you had to bring your tanks out the ground, they closed down. So there were tanks stored in the ground there. But we had to bring our tanks up at DPS out the ground at that same time.
Yeah.
and that'll bring us to how many gas stations if this was the pass?
Well, you have on that stretch, you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
3 on
Are you
Middlebelt.
talking about the entire city or just on Middlebelt in
I
Michigan?
mean, just the run. I mean, I thought I lost count for a minute. I thought it was like 6 or 7 for the city. Period.
No,
Yeah.
3 on Middlebelt.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and they
For the
want
city.
to.
But
They want to also
with
do.
that one
They
to make
want
3. With that one to make 3, because you got one you close down. Okay, so then you have
Yeah.
one by.
They're going through the process right now.
Right.
okay,
Open back up. But go ahead,
Mr.
Council.
Chair. Now they want to also do a car repair also, right? I thought I seen that in the notes that
I
they
didn't
want
see
to.
a car repair. I don't
I mean,
think
it's
we
gonna
talked
be-
about
it's go-
car repair in
I
planning
thought I-
commission, did we, Councilman Chisholm?
No.
It's going to have an addition to car repairs, or I thought I saw that in the notes. I'm not for sure.
Can you point to that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same because I thought we talked about they had some vacant property on there because someone had asked about why it said no liquor license or anything like that, but it was for other uh, anybody who wanted to lease something from them, so they wanted to put like a little stairs.
No.
Okay, I thought I read. Let me get back on my notes.
Yeah. Get back to your notes.
Shaw, are you asking about the automobile service station? Is that the question? Because
Yeah,
that's
it
the first thing
it
that
says
came up to me too.
Yeah, it says an automobile service station, right?
Yes, but then
Well,
it also says service station and a convenience store.
Yeah, service.
Right, they're
Okay,
talking about gas though, service,
okay,
gas
okay.
service station.
Okay, I must. Okay, I thought that I saw that. Okay, all right, that's all I have.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Howard, good evening. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Okay,
It-
can you?
Okay, we can't hear you. Councilman Shaw, you still had the floor. Go ahead.
Okay, now it says automobile service station. So I got kind of confused with that
Yeah.
when it said automobile service station.
It's automobiles, service station, gas service
Right.
station.
No, I mean, because you
I
could take
understand what you're
that.
saying.
Yeah, you could take that
Yeah.
two coins.
Yeah, two ways for sure. Yeah, it's just gas station and convenience store.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Okay, so yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, we're just going down each item. Item A, B, C, D, E. We went over already. We're at item F. If you have any questions as it relates to any of the items, please feel free to put those together if you at this time. All right, so item F.
I had a
Go ahead, Councilwoman Washington.
I'm sorry, Chair. I had a question in regards to the gas station location. So this will be across the street from Brothers. This will be in District 2, correct?
Correct.
Your district.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, believe me, we were lobbying for something to actually try to do something else in this area, but with the tanks in the ground, that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, because I guess my biggest concern with another gas station coming in District 2, we already having kind of that issue with the gas station that is on Avondale with the crime and issues that we had there along with the Valero. So it's just for me bringing another gas station in the district, I just, I think it would actually bring a lot more crime. And the residents, they're not too happy about it. So I just wanted to make sure that it was in my district.
Yeah, Michigan and Middle Belt, so it's probably a little bit different as it relates to just that area. So, yeah, definitely hear your concerns.
I'm sorry.
So we will make sure we're being in order, Councilman Williams.
Okay.
Did you have a question for Councilman Washington?
I just want, you said people indicated that they don't want to see the gas station there?
Exactly.
Because I have had conversations with a lot of them. They're saying, well, they're gonna move it on Michigan Avenue, probably be better still down in the community.
Well, I'm not sure exactly who you spoke with, but the people that I spoke with, they did state that they already are not too satisfied with the new gas station coming or reopening up on Avondale because of the issues that were over there with the crime.
That's right.
Open up another gas station. I'm not saying that it may bring crime, but it could be a possibility. So, yeah. I'm not sure exactly who you heard that from, but.
Yeah, I would just encourage though too, that's why we have public hearings that we put out for 15 days and notice for planning commission. And then this comes to council, a week later for those people to please come and state whatever, if you support objections at those meetings, so to be on the record. Because, of course we can all, say what our concerns are. We hear different people's concerns all the time. At the same time, it's nothing like hearing from the people speaking on it. So let me say this, that this particular owner did come before the planning commission and the layout is fabulous. When we talk about just plans that we've seen come before the city, and not knocking anybody else doing plans in the city, but folks got to step it up. And I think it's going to be really, really nice and really, it's going to add some life to that corner. Because right now you just got U-Haul there in an empty space, and it's been like that for years. I can't even remember anything being there before. And the only thing that we could possibly look to put there, just because of EPA standards and DEQ and then the water and all that stuff that's right there with the river, with the tanks being in the ground already, is another gas station. So, Councilwoman, we're going to work with you to make sure we work with the chief to make sure we have all the video cameras there tied into the parcel, along with, of course, us doing what we need to do as citizens in the community and, acting right.
You think I can talk them into moving across the street?
Hey, all right, so we're here now. So item F, moving right along, item F, and that's the purchase of the pawn shop on Michigan Avenue, right next door to Daly School. So a lot of you probably remember 3D Pawn Shop, been closed for years. We were actually looking at this particular company came before us before and asked us to buy the property there, but we didn't think that they had enough space to do everything they wanted to do there. So they've actually bought another building in Redford Township, and they've pretty much moved their business from Michigan Avenue where we have another empty building on Michigan Avenue, and they're using it for storage and some other things. So during this process, it has been probably about 6 months now, we looked at the land and what was owned, and it's actually a big piece of land on Kenwood Street that's actually tied and adjacent to this particular building. There was an overgrown parking lot, and it's actually to this particular building. So it just all fell pretty much together. I talked to the owner, and he's excited about bringing his retail business here and converting that space. So at this point, we want to try to move it forward as much as we can to help maintain businesses in the city of Inkster. Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
Yep, I was wondering the property that you're talking about, is that directly behind the building?
Right, directly behind the building. Yeah.
Okay, and the reason I ask is, those were concerns before when they talked about potentially purchasing that with parking, and I was curious because I saw the gate there, just going over there before with some other potential business owners, and I know it opens up to the lot for the school as well. So I was just curious if that was their gate, if that was the pawn shop's gate, and if the
Yeah.
school was using it to get, I'm just gonna say line equipment or whatever back there. Do they have another option in the event that the pawn shop people or potential owners decide that they're going to do something with different with that gate as far as access to that area?
You know what, Councilman Chisholm, I didn't necessarily approach the school with it. I just know that that's the city-owned property now, and we have been
Right.
maintaining it. So we've been cleaning it up, and the school is there, but they necessarily hadn't even been bothered with it until we
And
started cleaning it up.
I'm just asking because I know usually what happens is we sell a property or the building department writes something up for whomever's doing some work, and then when either residents or the property owner next door or whomever gets upset, the blame game starts, and then the city is always the bad guy.
For sure.
So, and that's why I was
Yeah.
just curious.
Yeah, I do have a relationship with David Stahl, who's the property manager for all the Westwood schools. So I'll make sure that I reach out, if this, either way it go, because we own the property now. We're liable for the property now, and we have been maintaining it. So we're trying to get this back, get it off our books, keep an employer here in our city, because this particular site employs about 10 people from the city of Inkster. And now they're going to Redford.
Now, Miss,
We want to keep them in Inkster if we can. Go ahead.
now with this property, they're not just doing a showroom piece. They're going to have also a warehouse, right? Now,
Yeah, they can't. So they can't necessarily do any manufacturing there. So it'll be more of retail and warehousing space. Correct.
okay, because the way the property looks on Michigan Avenue, the property that they have now,
Hmm.
I mean, it's not really a beautifying site, because you got constructions, equipment all in the back. I mean, it just looks to me unkosher. And
That's why they moved,
yeah,
because they outgrew their space.
and I understand that. And this is the concern that I have. We got to really, consider what we're putting on Michigan Avenue. Now, if it was a nice little showpiece, a room where they're showing windows and doors, from a retail standpoint, like, of that nature, I mean, that's fine and well. But
That's what they're doing, Councilman.
Michigan
That's what they're-
Avenue is our face. It is our face.
Councilman, you just said if they're doing retail, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Right,
And I
but
actually sent you.
I understand. I understand the retail. I understand the retail having a showroom, but
Right.
when you deal with the warehouse and the stuff that's that comes with the warehouse part, is that going to be seen off of Michigan Avenue as well as is seen in their other piece,
No.
in their
No,
other
just for point of clarity. So they started at Colonial and Inkster Road about 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, at the little building that is at Colonial and Inkster Road. And then they moved from there up to Michigan Avenue. And then up in Michigan Avenue, they grew and their business expanded. So they rented out the Hollywood pharmacy next door. And that's where they were storing and warehousing most of their stuff. And you didn't see all of that stuff outside.
Right.
When we started to get wind of all of the stuff outside is because of a new business coming into the Hollywood pharmacy, and they didn't have another space to go. So they approached us about the, of course, the pawn shop. And we said at that time, because of the trucks, we didn't know that we owned the other piece of land right behind it. It's like the parking lot, and they can kind of enclose it. However, because it's a B3, they can't manufacture. So they actually manufacture windows at that location on Michigan Avenue now, but they're currently in Redford doing that. So they've moved their business from there over to Redford doing manufacturing and retail in that space, but they're willing to stay here in Inkster. And I sent you pictures of what they're proposing to do. And of course, I'd have to go through planning, department and all that stuff. But I think that we can get something really nice. And also to take care of people that's been here in Inkster doing business with us in the city of Inkster.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Michigan Avenue, man. I mean, because the future of Michigan Avenue is everything to Inkster. It is and we talked about this, and
Yeah.
you know the concerns I have. I mean, it's our future. So
I'm a property owner along Michigan Avenue, so I totally understand that, sir.
yeah. So when we putting like almost like light industrial, spots.
They're not doing light industrial. I don't want to get that out there. They're going to be doing retail space, showcasing their windows and all of that stuff, and then warehousing. Of course, if people want to buy from there, they can buy. So they'll be warehousing and retailing.
So you're saying that they're not going to do any type of manufacturing? They're just going to store windows and doors there.
Well, not doors. They're a window company, so they're going to do windows. And they're going to retail, so like a gallery, just like you was explaining what you said you wanted. So that's basically what they're going to be doing on Michigan Avenue.
I've been in their shop, so I know they do doors as well. So I don't know if they're going to still be doing doors.
They don't do doors anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
They don't do doors anymore.
So we're not going to have, and they still got to go to the planning commission.
This has to go through planning. Yes, it has to go through the planning commission.
It's
retail, I believe so. And I'm let me let Caitlin speak to that, but I want to make sure, we definitely got to go through administrative approval and all that stuff with plans and all that.
It would be a special land use.
Yeah. So there you are. And I don't know why it would be a special land use being retail in the B3.
Because it's wholesale, and wholesale is considered special land use because it's a big space.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it's not retail, it's wholesale.
It's retail. It has to have so much retail space in the front, and that they have to do a showroom type thing, and then they can store everything in the back. It'd be considered like wholesale, like storage type retail space, like with a showroom type space.
I think I want to do a little bit more research on that, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Because how big is it? And how much space they'll be using for retail? And before we say they have to go through special land use, definitely want to know, because that's a whole nother process. Just try to get businesses open and moving and not moving out of the city of Inkster. And this business is actually packed up and moved out of Inkster. So we'll figure it out as we go along. All right. Okay, let's see here. That's that one. And I know we had a couple of more. Any questions? Any other questions on the other pieces that we have? We do have one item as it relates to, actually 2 items as it relates to closed session. And they should be pretty quick, so we could get back out if we don't have any more questions as it relates.
One on the Walnut.
Go ahead, Walnut.
Can she explain me where about closest she can get to this lot? Where is that on the west side of Walnut between
Pine and Andover?
And Carlisle, that 3 blocks.
Pine and Andover.
Pine and Andover is down.
It's in your district.
West side.
Correct. Well, it's actually, it would be south. South west.
That's in the vacant lot next to George Johnson's house. The other people's house right there. Is what you talking about? West side.
Yeah, it's a blur of a picture in here. Let's look at it real quick.
Mine in Andover would be going back towards Spring Hill, I believe, because Hickory and all that is near George Johnson's house.
No, George was on the corner of Pine and Walnut.
Right. So going back towards St. Clements, I think behind, going which would be east-west. I think Andover's back that way.
Yeah, well, this probably got to be between Andover, Pine and Annapolis.
Let's see here. Pine and Annapolis.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, I'm straight.
Okay. All right, David.
Yes, sir. We have two closed session matters. The matter with Blackwell, that would be the FOI matter, and the Nelson versus the City of Inkster matter.
All right, motion to go into closed session.
So move.
Support.
Roll call, please. City Clerk.
Councilmember Wiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Washington.
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw.
Yes.
And Councilmember Chisholm.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
All right, motion carried. We're gonna go into closed session real quick. Troy, if you can get us going into that breakout room, and we'll try to be back out by 7. It's about 15 minutes. Thank you. All right. Looks like we're recording. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another meeting of the Inkster City Council. Today is Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. Right after Pledges of Allegiance, we'll have a prayer by Pastor Mac. So Troy, if you can cue him up. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we can all rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible.
liberty, justice for all. Pastor Mac, please.
Can you hear me?
We can now, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Praise the Lord to Mayor, City Council. Thank you for the privilege to be able to do the prayer for the city. So let every head bow. Dear precious Savior, Lord, we thank you for an opportunity to come together once again. Lord, we thank you for keeping us safe through the year 2000, Lord, and 20. Lord, we know that we don't take it for granted that it was a struggle, but we made it to where we are today, Lord. So, Lord, right now we ask that you bless our city leaders, Lord. Have them to challenge each other to greater heights, Lord, that they're able to do the will of the city and be able for the city to grow and for development to come through, Lord. Lord, we ask that you bless us where we're able to have people begin to respond to the city the same way they did to Detroit when they thought Detroit was lost, Lord, but it came back really vibrant. So we ask that same blessing to occur in the city of Inkster, Lord. Lord, we ask for a safe environment, Lord, that those that come to do evil deeds and to commit crime, Lord, we ask that you just change their mind, give them another mindset, that our children can continue to stay in our city as they grow older and as they attain their degrees. They don't want to move somewhere else, Lord. Lord, we ask that as they plan out the future of our city, Lord, let the citizens of the city of Inkster get involved as well. It's easy to point at one thing that might not be right, but we forget about the 99 things that we worked on all year long to have them to manifest themselves, Lord. We declare blessings on our first responders in the city of Inkster, Lord, that they remain safe, that they're able to do their job and be safe from this virus that's going on or for any other attack that may come upon them, Lord. Lord, we open up doors of resources to the city of Inkster for those that come to move Inkster forward and to grow it and to see it manifest into what our vision is of the city, Lord. Lord, we ask that we forgive everything that has been done in the past and we begin to move forward, because we need to challenge each other to go to higher heights and be able to do the things that we want to do in this great city, Lord. So Lord, send in the resources from every direction. Send in the resources that's going to do the will of the people, Lord. Lord, we bind up the hands of the adversary, those that come to attack the city, those that come to give false media reports on it. Lord, we just want to show the fruits that we have been producing in the last few years as we begin to grow and how we begin to love one another and begin to treat it as a city that is vibrant and that others will want to come along and be a part of it. So even as they begin to construct what they're going to take care of tonight, Lord, lead and guide their hands and their minds and elevate it to a height that we won't just plan it out, but we will see it manifest itself in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Mac. Christ
All right.
Temple, City of Refuge. Really appreciate you. All right, moving right into roll call, please, City Clerk.
Mayor Wimberly,
Here, Inkster, Michigan City Hall.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes, here, Inkster in my home.
Councilwoman Watley,
Yes, I'm peering remotely from my home in Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
thank you. Councilman Williams,
Here at my home, Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
thank you. Councilwoman Washington,
Here, I am remotely, I'm appearing remotely from my home city of Inkster, Michigan.
Councilman Chisholm,
Here, reporting from my home virtually, Inkster, Michigan, County of Wayne.
and Councilman Shaw. Councilman Shaw,
Oh, here, Inkster, Michigan. I'm sorry about that.
no problem. Mayor, we have 7 present tonight. We do have a quorum.
All right, then moving right along, approval of the agenda, please.
So move, Mr. Chair.
With the additions of with the additions of a presentation by Mr. Bivens, and also the consent agenda item for the Allen Brothers invoice. It's been moved and properly supported. Any other discussion?
Who supported, Mayor? I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Who supported?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
This is in reference to the to Allen Brothers
Agenda.
also, because generally I like to see it before I approve it.
Yeah, so yep, sure. It was sent to you via email. Attorney sent it before the meeting, but it's totally up to you all. That's why I asked before.
Well, then I'm going to say no for the time being, because sending it to us directly for the meeting, I believe I've made it plain before that I have to have time to read and digest things. They can't just be plopped on us just before a meeting. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
and Councilmember Shaw.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 5 yeas and 1 nay.
All right, motion carried. Moving right along.
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
Presentation.
can I get a clarification?
Clarification, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I want to know when we're voting, can you're allowed to do give reasons? I mean, I don't want, we don't want to start.
Robert Rules of Orders, you can. So it was her, she just wanted to state her reason why she voted the way she did. And I think that's
Well, I mean,
that's
know
right.
so I can have the same privileges.
Yeah, for sure. You can't go back into discussion, but you can say, no, this is why, yes, this is why, or such and such, and this is why. That way you get clarification for your vote. And I totally understand that. All right. Moving right along, presentation. Mr. Bivens?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council Department heads and the viewing audience. Tonight I'm coming before you with the lead and copper. You guys received the email from me this evening stating that the Inkster is putting out a public advisory on the lead and copper as we did in 2019 in September, because we failed the action level again for the 90% percentile. We had, I think it was 8 houses in our last round of testing we did from July to December of this year that had high lead content in it. And now I'm going to turn this over to Latoya Joyce, because as the mayor knows, I'm at home recovering from COVID. So Latoya Joyce is going to read the public press release for Not Prepared that will be going to the media in the morning. Go ahead, Ms. Joyce.
Thank you, Mr. Bivens.
Thank you.
Ms. Joyce? Okay, did we lose it? Mr. Bivens, look like.
I don't think I see Miss Joyce on the call. If she
that's what I'm looking.
Can she raise her hand so I can identify her?
Okay. And Ms. Joyce, to raise your hand. Did we get
When I texted, she was there.
Okay. She may be on one of those iPhones.
She is on her iPhone.
Okay.
Is her name not showing up? Her number is 313-737-0087. Oh, here she go. Hold on. Hey, she
can't unmute her.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerome, you mute yourself.
Okay. She can't unmute herself.
I don't think she's on by that telephone number. It might be renamed to something else. That telephone number is not in our participants list, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, okay. But she said
iPhone users or iPad users, if she can hit *9 or use the raise hand function, and we can identify her.
Good. Thank you, guys. Ms. Joyce, *9 function, raise your hand.
If she's logged into the app, Mr. Mayor, she will need to use the raise hand feature and not *9.
Okay. You got that, Ms. Joyce, raise hand feature. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so let's get Mr. Bivens. Get Mr. Bivens back in there for me.
I'm here. Go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. Bivens, just give us an overview of what it is, because I know that other communities that went under the same testing had this same issue. So it's not just the city of Inkster, number one. Number
Okay.
two,
Go ahead.
number two, it's about the lead service homes that we tested, correct?
Yes, sir.
It's not lead it's the levels of lead here are from these homes that actually have lead service pipes going to their homes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the main thing I want you to touch on if you can for
Okay.
the general public.
So basically, to the general public, if you see in the beginning statement here, during the 6-month period, the city of Inkster collected 62 homes and part of a lead and copper compliance with the State Drinking Water Act. The test results were 8 of the 62 reported lead and copper homes had an action level higher than 15 parts per billion, which is outside the Michigan Department of Environmental, Great Lakes, and Energy acceptance, which is if it's higher than 15 parts per billion, that means that house has a considerable amount of lead and it has failed. So if you see in the next stanza, you see the graph and chart in which we performed last year. This was lead replacements and lead sample testing. And if you see the testing right there. So based on the state's evaluation and their criteria, we failed. So what we did in 2019 is we will have to do that again this year. So this is the first step. A public notice, advisory notice has to be put out 3 days prior to the state sending me an official letter. I got the official letter on Friday because Monday was a holiday. They're giving me to Wednesday. So I got that prepared, and this is the letter you're seeing Troy scroll up now. In the content of this letter, it explains the reason why we failed and gives you the number and the statistics. It tells you it gives you information about lead and copper in homes and how you can deal with it, how you can treat it. It also provides, oh, there you go. Go ahead, Tori. Go ahead, Tori.
You just about did it now. But yeah, it gives you, and also it gives you dates in this letter, dates that the city will be giving out filters, and the filters will be available via a drive-through pickup at the Booker Dozier Recreation Center at 2025 Middlebelt Road, starting Saturday, February the 20th, 2021, and Sunday, February the 21st, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. During filter distribution, social distancing will be practiced. Face masks are required, and all recipients will be asked to remain in their vehicle during pickups. We also want to let you know that it is okay to use lead containing water containing lead to wash your hands. Even if you have lead in your drinking water, you can wash your hands with water that is not filtered or flushed. Public health advises residents to wash hands often and for at least 20 seconds with soap and water to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. So, and that's just about it.
So Tori, let me just make sure that we're clear though. So this is not the entire city, each household. This are the homes that we identified having lead service lines to them, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this is not each house, all of the water in the city of Inkster. This is the 400 and some odd houses that we identified for lead service. And you have to do a testing for each round of installations, correct?
That's correct.
The new lines.
Yes. And like it states at the beginning of the letter, out of 62 homes that we tested within a 6-month period, only 8 of those homes were found to have lead in their water, in their pipes. Okay. So it's not.
We just don't want to get that narrative. We want to make sure that we clear that up, because there's been a lot of just scuttlebutt, especially with social media, that the city of Inkster is comparable to Flint as it relates to lead. Can you speak to that?
I can speak to that, sir. I'll help out. So I'll say it like this. When we were on the call last week with the state of Michigan, discussing this, and the mayor participated on this call. She made it very clear to me. The city of Inkster is a very proactive community because what we're doing, we're finding out what's in our residents' homes and we're addressing the issue. So we're not buying water. We're not trying to do what Flint did, take water from another source. Our water that comes from Great Lakes is scrutinized to the utmost. It goes to a various of treatment plants. And when it comes to us, it's fine. It's what's in our residents' home. Some of these homes were built in the 20s. Some of them were built in the 30s, the 40s, which back then, lead was the thing to use. So what we're doing is we're now going through the city. We have an inventory list that we put together in 2019, like the mayor said, some probably close to 800 plus homes that we know that we're gonna be sampling. Like we get ready to do another round of 60 from January to June of this year, and then we'll do another round of 60 from June to December of this year, and hopefully it'll look like that chart will be below the lead content of 15 parts per billion, and we'll have some houses, and we still are doing the lead service replacement of 67 services for the next 14 years. Plus, I haven't had a chance to talk to the mayor, but we got some good news today from the state. We did qualify as a distressed community to receive $300,000 from the state to help us with this lead and service project. So that's good news for the community. We applied for that. Yes. It's just some stuff I got to do moving forward on that to get that money here. And that's in FY22.
Good job.
Okay. So right, one more thing I like to, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Superintendent.
One more thing I would just like to add to that is that the letter that was before you that Troy had posted, every citizen in Inkster will receive one of those letters. It'll be inside your water bills for the month of February, your water bill that you get next month. One of those letters will be in there, so just be sure to read it.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll have more questions. We have more questions, more comments. We probably just need to do a community forum as it relates to this leading up to February the 21st. Go ahead, Councilman Shaw.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask too. She touched on that she's going to get the information out. But the question I have is, those who have been, does any of the citizens know that their houses or their pipes that has that type of lead in them? I mean, have the city contacted them specifically out of the 62 or out of the 800 homes that was identified?
Yeah, so with the 62 that were tested, the 8 that were identified, we went to those homes and we gave them filters if they didn't have any. And even if they did, we gave them a filter again. And we gave them information on what to do, if they want to be tested or if they wanted to contact Wayne County, if they wanted further information to contact us, we gave them a folder, an envelope full of information regarding their lead service line. And we did inform them that this year their lead service line will be replaced.
Very good. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Mm-hmm. And again, we have to know. So this is houses that were built in the early 50s and before that time, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a quick question.
Please, go ahead.
The last time we did a water filter distribution, it was a 3-day process and we were bombarded. We ran out, things of that nature. If we run out this time, because, people are just going to be coming, and of course it says per MDHHS, everybody is provided, if it can be provided a filter, will Wayne County still have them on hand for persons to go over there and retrieve them, or what's the process if we run out?
After those 2 days through the drive-through, we will have water filters available for pickup at Department of Public Service.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Councilman Washington.
In regards to when you guys, the last time that the filters were passed out in 2019. So for those people who had received filters, if they wanted to come back and get another filter, like how do you guys have that process set up for those who probably already had filters and then trying to come get another one, or how does that go?
Nobody will be turned away. When they come in line to get a filter, everybody will receive a filter or replacement cartridges, either or.
Okay, thank you.
So that's Inkster residents. Do they have to have any type of documentation? What do they need to bring when they come?
They
Do
don't
they
have to
fill out anything.
They don't have to show any ID, nothing.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Joyce. Thank you so much, Mr. Bibbins.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome.
Moving right along. Consent agenda. Moved and is there support?
Support.
It's been moved and properly supported. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Williams,
He's muted.
You're on mute, sir.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes, but I seen I'm not
Consent agenda.
this was on. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Consent agenda. So it's a yes or no.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
and Councilmember Wiley.
Yes.
All right.
Mayor, we have six. Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
Okay. Councilwoman, did you have something you had wanted to add outside of the consent agenda? Councilwoman Washington?
I can just. I'll actually just email the city clerk.
Okay. All right. Then moving right along, boards and commissions. And just to start off, we want to make sure that all of our boards and commissions, commissioners that's out there wanting to serve. If you want to continue to serve, reach out to your appointee. And hey, we want to keep people serving that want to serve. So this is all about our community and building our community together. So we know we have a number of vacancies. Had a chance to attend the Parks and Rec Commission, and we had a number of vacancies there. And just standing out as it relates to vacancies there, we had a couple, and you guys know who you are. So if you want to appoint anybody, let's get somebody out your district and get ready to serve, because we want to make sure that all of our commissions are filled. And the Parks and Rec Commission, for sure, they're asking me to make sure that we talk directly to you guys about appointing folks. So you're looking at the register, you see your vacancy there or expiration. If you got somebody, please, let's put them through the process. All right, does anybody have any appointments for tonight?
Yeah, I would like to appoint Antonio Wimberly in place of Ned Sanders. His appointment expired on 7/7/2019.
And that's for the
Parks and Recreational Commission.
Parks and Rec.
Support.
There's support for them.
Support.
Ned was representing what district?
No, that's council appointment.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The council supports that. Moving right along. Good call. All right. Any discussion on that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is Councilwoman Watley.
Yeah, please, Councilwoman.
We really should make contact with Mr. Sanders to see if he's interested in continuing from the district he's in, because as you recall, he did a lot of things with Parks and Recs, as far as the tennis court, the getting equipment and stuff from other places. So we should really check with him, because he's been dedicated and been wanting to be on this commission for quite some time, and he does an excellent job, and he goes outside of his area of just being a commissioner. So I would like to see us make contact with him just to see if he's interested in continuing, since his appointment has expired.
As duly noted, there is a motion on the floor. To make a motion, you want to rescind? Would that even be proper at this point?
On here, I don't see the color like it used to be on the in some of the packets, and it just might be an oversight. Just wondering if he had resigned or if it just expired.
Look like it's been expired since July of 19. It's been quite some time. Yep, and this is the last one, actually. The council appointment. This is the council representative.
Yeah, I see it. I was just curious.
What about the District 1? Well, District 1 got to be filled in, right?
You got a vacancy in District 1, District 2, and you got a District 5. So District 1, District 2, and District 5, and then the expiration with Ned. We're discussing Ned right now. So here to make a motion, not rescinding, it is support. We had discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yeah.
and Councilmember Watley.
No.
Mayor, we have 5 yeas.
All right, motion carries. So that it's out there. We have a vacancy on Parks and Rec Commission number 1. Councilman Williams, you have a vacancy in number 1. So we need a spot. We need a person in that spot.
I'll handle it.
That is willing to serve. Now, let me say this, that I got strict instructions from the Parks and Rec board. They want people that's willing to serve and ready to get to work because they're excited about it. So I want to make sure that as we're filling these vacancies, that we got people, we're not just putting placeholders in, that we're actually putting folks that's ready to work. All right.
Mr.
Please,
Chair.
go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Now, is any letters being sent out to folks that term has expired? So to see if they do want to reserve or recertify?
That's a good point. That's a good question. That's for the city clerk.
No, Mayor, customarily that has been left up to council to solicit to people who are appointed to those positions and find out if they would like to continue to serve.
There you go. Council. It's ours. This is ours. This is our thing. So we will try to help as much as we possibly can to do that, because I think that's a good idea. Because we wouldn't have the Ned situation if that's the case. Because what Councilwoman Wiley was saying is it makes total sense. Ned has been very active. He's been very active. So we definitely want to keep him engaged. So I think we definitely need to do that.
He can still, is he in, whose district is he in? Can he be reappointed even in District 1 or 5? What district is he in?
I think he's over in 2, I believe.
Is this about Ned Sanders again?
Yes.
Yes, he's in District 2. In fact, he lives right across the street from the rec center. So that's why he does a lot of things that, aren't necessarily in his job description as commissioner, such as maintaining the tennis courts or cutting the grass and stuff like that in those areas. So he's in District 2. That was the only question, wasn't it? Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's a point. It was like you said. I think it just prompts us to make sure that when folks are expiring, we send them something out to say to them, do you want to serve? You want to continue to serve? And we even from letters from your desk as a council person, Mayor Pro Tem, the mayor, we should be doing that. So, all right then. So we know again we got those vacancies 1, 2, and 5. Mayor Pro Tem 5.
Okay.
We're gonna get somebody good over in 5, so we'll work on that. Any others? Hearing none. Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. In response to Ned, Ned resigned.
Ned didn't resign. His term expired, as you pointed out.
I think it just might be a bit of miscommunication. They might want to check the Parks and Rec Commission minutes.
Oh, you think that Ned? What did Ned do?
Or either that, or we could ask the board, some of the representatives from Parks and Rec's commission to speak to it, just for clarity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what's the clarity that we're trying to get? I'm trying to understand.
It sounds like people are confused if he resigned or if his term expired. Like maybe it just didn't get updated on the records itself. It's a possibility, or he might have resigned and then just never formally said it, and then his term expired. Sometimes they just let it expire, don't renew it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Because I did, as in regards to the Parks and Recs, someone on Parks and Recs, one of the commissioners, 2 people did just let me know that he was.
Oh, you went to mute. You went to mute, Councilwoman Washington.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did just receive word that he did resign. I'll check into it with Mr. Sanders just to be sure. But that's
Okay.
yeah.
Good. And that's even from the minutes, like Councilman Chisholm was saying. So see if we can get those produced from Parks and Rec. Okay. Moving right along. Any others? All right. Hearing none. Previous business. All right. First and second, new business.
Item A is consideration and approval authorizing DPS director to sell unit 07-131-2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee in the amount of $300 to Mr. Daryl Davis Sr.
So move.
Support.
Been moved and properly supported. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
Motion carries. Item B, please.
Item B is consider approval authorizing DPS director to purchase a used vehicle from George Used Car Sales, Inc. in the amount of $19,640, and it should be taken from the Water Fund 592-564-935-000.
What's your pleasure?
So move. Well, support.
Moved and properly supported. Discussion, please. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
All right, motion carries. Item C, please.
Item C is consideration and approval to participate with the Urban County of Wayne Federal Community Block Grant Home Investment Partnership and Emergency Solutions Grant funding.
So move.
Moved. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and properly supported. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Item D, please.
I didn't.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm like, I missed somebody.
Yes.
Chisholm. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Moving right on. Item D, please.
Item D is consideration and approval of a special land use for a proposed gas station to be located on the northwest corner of Michigan Ave and Middle Belt in the B3 General Business District. The applicant is Hussein Bazi.
What's your pleasure?
So
What's your
move.
pleasure? The support? It's been moved. Is there support? Okay. Discussion, please.
Did somebody support it? I couldn't hear. I'm sorry.
Chisholm.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Mr. Mayor,
discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Please, Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Okay, now, the only concern that I have is when, I'm not sure what year, but most cars is gonna go electric. And what happens if the gas station doesn't go accordingly? And then we have that versus the one that's in my district on Michigan Avenue in John Daly. I think they're in construction right now. but it's been sitting vacant for so long. So that's the only problem. That's the only thing that I have on that one. That was my concern, is that when they started building all these electric cars, what's going to happen to these gas stations that we do have around here?
Yeah, good question. Definitely forward thinking, future thinking. We do have the applicant on the line right now. I mean, I don't. I'm pretty sure the applicant is, he's investing upwards over $1 million into this project. I'm pretty sure that it won't necessarily become obsolete, and they would try to evolve with the times. But at the same time, if you want to hear from the applicant, would you like that?
No, I don't have to.
Okay. Okay.
I was just making a statement. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Any other comments? Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
No.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
Yes.
and Councilmember Washington.
No.
Mayor, we have 4 yeas and 2 nays.
Motion carries. All right, moving right along. Item E.
Item E is consideration and approval of a 6-month extension for special land use for a proposed medical marijuana cultivation and processing facility to be located at 27181 Southern, between Southern and Weedoff and Sylvia in the M1 Light Industrial District.
What's your pleasure? Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there support?
Support.
Been moved and properly supported. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Williams,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Nay.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
and Councilmember Watley.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 5 yeas and 1 nay.
All right, motion carries. Item F.
Item F is consider approval of one offer to purchase one commercial building located on the north side of Michigan Ave between Kenwood Drive and Beach Daily Road, which is legally described as duly noted, or 25910 Michigan Ave, in the amount of $31,997 to Majid Abbas Mehidi, First Choice Windows.
So move.
Is support?
Support.
Moved and properly supported. Discussion.
Yep, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Councilman Shaw.
Now, is there 2 buildings that he's going to purchase? I thought I seen 2 buildings there for purchase.
No, it's just one building.
It's just one.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, piggybacking on Councilman Shaw's question, I think, because I got confused myself, and somebody pointed out to me the word "or" was in there, so I think they put the property ID and said "or" and then put the address.
Oh, gotcha. Let me hear.
And also, Mr. Chair, now.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep. Go ahead, sir.
So it's only one building, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the retail, but it's going to be wholesale as well, right? So is that going to cause a problem there for special land use?
Well, we don't know. I think that, you get past this process, we know again that, just the history of it. The company started on Colonial Inkster Road, a little small spot at that building that's vacant now and been vacant for some time. They moved up on Michigan Avenue. And because they couldn't buy this property from us about 6 or 7 months ago, they came before the council. Actually, about 8 months ago, they came before the council and wanted to buy the property. And we didn't know that the property adjacent to it was also part of it, which is a parking area that's actually enclosed from the neighborhood. We said no at that time. So now they came back before us. We're able to do it. The property's still sitting there. They showed me their property that they did in Redford, which I passed that along to you all, which we actually have pictures, actually, Troy, if you guys want to see those.
Yeah,
what they did over in Redford. Troy, if you can prompt that for us, please. And that's what they're proposing to do at this particular building coming into Michigan Avenue. Troy? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
I see it.
Okay. So yep, there you go. That's what they did. That's what they left Michigan Avenue here in the city of Inkster because again, their footprint had got large. It got large, that area, the space. Okay, yeah, I don't know what the bread has to do with it, but then they moved over into Redford. And this is what they're proposing to do there. I think that's probably where you got the doors in there. You see they got doors, but
Yeah, I mean,
doors, windows.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to have any kind of heavy duty trucks going in and out that you know of?
No.
Okay.
Not that I see now. I mean, they don't have heavy duty trucks even in the space that they have now. I know that the reason why all their stuff is outside now on Michigan Avenue and they've been trying to get it inside is because the building was purchased next door for another space that's coming in. And the guy that they had a partnership, actually had an agreement with, basically told them they had to move all their stuff out in a certain amount of time. That's why it's been out on Michigan Avenue.
I mean, I like the storefront. I mean, it looks nice.
We're gonna make sure it looks nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That parking lot, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. We know that. I mean, coming into Michigan Avenue, right into that area, we want something that's gonna pop and be nice and that we can be proud of. And this is a actual business owner that's in the community. That's hired folks in the community. Folks are working for him right now, leaving Inkster right now because they're not working in Inkster no more. They're working over in Redford. So he has an offer for the building in Redford if he can get this particular building over here in Inkster. So we've been going through this process now for about, like I said, about at least 8 months for sure. It's pre-COVID because he came before the council.
Yeah, I remember that. Them coming to the council chambers. Yeah, I mean, you know how it is, Mr. Mayor. Michigan Avenue is really our prime jewel there.
For sure. For sure, and I think they're going to do us proud. For sure.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair,
please.
Did we come to the cost through a land assessment or a property assessment?
Yeah, well, and I'm speaking over my folks. So I had the professionals on the line, but this is basically a building that we acquired through the NSP program. And the value of the taxes that we paid. So we can only get $1,000 above that. So that's why you see that additional $1,000 from that $30,000 number.
Okay, thank you.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Shaw.
Yes.
Councilmember Watley.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Yes.
Councilmember Washington.
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm.
Yes.
And Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
All right, moving right along. Item G, please.
Item G is consideration and approval of one offer to purchase one vacant lot located on the west side of Walnut between Annapolis Street and Carlisle Avenue, which is described as duly noted in the amount of $500 to Francesco Gonzalez.
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I have one question.
Please,
Is this on a buildable lot that he's going to put the fence around? Can they build something on that?
I believe, yeah. Let's have Tracy chime in, but I believe so, and that's why it's actually $500. I think, I was talking to you guys before about number one, we have over 1,200 vacant properties in the city of Inkster. We want to get them not on our tax roll, back onto other people's taxes so we can collect taxes, right? At the same time, I believe that the number is a little low at 500, especially for a buildable lot. But, you know, we want to encourage people to buy them, especially the people in the neighborhoods. So we've been seeing the increased activity. We have Stephanie Murray, our realtor, along with Peggy Bishop, our realtor, has been working on that different type of stuff for us. So it's up to this body as it relates to us raising the price, but the price has always been $250 for a non-buildable lot, $500 for a buildable lot.
Okay, the reason why I asked that question is because the next item is almost the same thing, but it's $1,000. It's to purchase additional land behind the building. So is it because it's a building versus a resident?
Yeah, the other, and then two is Michigan Avenue, and it's it would be considered commercial.
Okay, that's why I wanted to know. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye. So what you're saying now is that we're gonna, in actuality, if we wanted to someone purchase this land, how much would it actually be?
To actually purchase it?
Yes.
I would have to have the assessor do that for you, but I can get that information for you for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we wanted somebody to actually purchase it, yep, for sure.
I mean, he's gonna the person that's getting ready to this on here tonight is actually purchasing it.
Yeah.
But if it's a buildable lot, I mean, it's $500. Is, you know, are we selling ourselves cheap?
I will say yes. You know, that's me. But I know that that has been past practice. That's what we've done.
Okay. Yeah.
At the same time, you know, I want us to consider as a body upping that price, you know, that stuff, working with Mario, the assessor, but not necessarily pricing people out either. Because I know a lot of these folks have been taking care of these lots, you know, that's coming before us now. They've been taking care of, say, side lots, you know. So I have Tracy, our special projects manager, creating what is called a side lot program, similar to what other communities have done, where, you know, of course, you had a lot on your block or you live next to a lot, you've been taking care of it, you have first rights, kind of.
Right, and that's understandable. So now what's in it for us in case this person doesn't pay the taxes on it? Does it go back to Wayne County, or does this come to the property comes back to us?
Well, you know, essentially when you deed the property over, it becomes a property owner's. So then it would go back to the county, you know, if they foreclose on taxes. And then we would have first right of refusal to take the property back. So we would get first rights of refusal to take the property back, but it would be at a cost or with the taxes.
Right, so we wouldn't want to do that at the time. Right. Okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, please, Councilman Chisholm.
I was going to ask if Tracy could email council, I guess the differences as far as dimensions and definitions for lots versus parcels and any other terminology that comes in there. Because I know the lots are a lot smaller than parcels, and we use those sometimes interchangeably. And they get confused because we talk about a parcel, that's like, I guess, multiple lots, but I don't know what actual size determines a parcel versus what actual size determines a lot.
Gotcha. I Steve, I'm with you. So, but I totally get it, because I think, you know, just my lame understanding of it, lots and parcels are the same, but as it relates to, you know, the size and dimensions of them, I think that's you're onto something. So we definitely need to just have her put a description together for you with that.
Cool, thank you.
And I think even have Don Jones, our chief building official, he can definitely weigh in on that. So I'll work on that information for you. Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Chisholm?
Yes.
Councilmember Williams?
Yes.
Councilmember Watley?
Yes.
Councilmember Washington?
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem Howard?
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
All right, then moving right along. Item H, please, motion carries.
Item H is consideration and approval of one offer to purchase one vacant lot located on the west side of Spring Hill between Isabel Street and Irene Street, which is legally described as duly noted, in the amount of $1,000 to Carrie V. Roden.
So move.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and properly supported. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, you talked about this being a commercial, but I thought it said in the write-up that it was a residential park.
It's actually considered residential, but it's right there next to Catfish. If you're familiar with the old Catfish Corner,
Yes, sir. This
right
is my
on
area.
Michigan Avenue in Spring Hill.
Yes,
So
this
it's
is my
right on
area.
that back. It's right on that back side of it. And what they're doing is they're actually doing a commercial development there. So they're in with the planning department with Caitlin. If Ms. Hines, you want to speak to that to help me out a little bit, that'd be good. But we're already in the planning process, pretty close to get to planning commission, because it'll be a carry out. And that's one of the other things that we need to talk about here is as the council about changing that carry out status. Any carry out, like right now, if a person wanted to open up just a small carry out location in the city of Inkster for food, especially right now during COVID, they still would have to go through a special land use, which would take them, plans and months to do.
Mayor.
Business. So well, go ahead. Caitlin, is that you?
Yes.
Good. All right.
The special land use is only for any of the business districts. The TCD allows carry out as a permitted use. But this is a drive-through location, and she's buying the parcel behind hers because they will have the drive-through. The drive-through will be using the alley behind her, and she is putting up a wall so that the residential area will be screened from noise and traffic that will come into her restaurant.
Good explanation. And they're moving pretty quickly. So
yes,
we're just trying to help them get through this process, because now they want to buy the land and then they have to put this into their plan. So, just whatever we determine tonight is going to affect it one way or the other. All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Watley,
Yes.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
and Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Mayor, we have 6 yeas.
All right, motion carries. All right, thank you so much. Before we get off into public participation, I just want to make sure that just point of clarification that these are not houses. These are empty lots, vacant lots in the city of Inkster. So over time, we've torn down houses, buildings, whatever it is, and then we just have empty space. So there's a lot of empty space in the city of Inkster. If you live in the city of Inkster, you travel the city of Inkster, you see a lot of land, and it's called land disposition. So you have a building here, but then an empty lot here. It's because we came through with our demo program or whatever it was, owners, fires, anything that has happened over time, and we haven't put any other structures back up. So this is a program. A lot of people have been talking about, buying property in the city of Inkster, of course, buying our own in the city of Inkster. So we will be presenting, once after we get through this, we're going through our audit process right now, and formulating all of our grants into an Excel spreadsheet to be able to identify where they're at. So our special projects manager is working with our treasurer to get a hold of all of that stuff, with timelines and all that stuff as it relates to executing certain things with certain measures. So the next project that she'll be working on is the side lot program for those people in the community that want to buy a lot from the city of Inkster. But what I will do is extend that particular list of lots onto our website. And also too, you can deal directly with our realtor, any realtor in the city of Inkster, Stephanie Taylor, or any realtor period, but just put it out there. Stephanie Taylor, Peggy Bishop, Rebecca Daniels, Curtis Steen, Ernestine. So
can I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Please go ahead.
On them lots, don't we have something in place? Somebody removed it. It used to be when they got ready to sell a lot, you must notify the two the two neighbors right next to the lot. If that don't happen anymore.
You know, hey, that's a good idea, but it just probably just got lost in the sauce. And then understand that this is private property. I mean, well, city-owned property, probably next door to a private location. So we can notify both of those folks in the
No,
area.
I'm
Hey,
just saying in the neighborhood. You know, people are buying empty lots in the neighborhood, okay? Yeah. And the other people next to it might have wanted to purchase it, but wasn't aware of it.
yeah, so what we'll do with the
know
side lot,
that this property is being offered to be sold?
yeah, with the side lot program, that's what we want to do with the side lot program. So we want to do just what you're talking about. And that market analysis study that we've done with the residential market analysis study combined with the commercial market analysis study now in the side lot program will do just that. Because, you know, we want people to own their own property within our own community. We want to encourage that as much as we possibly can. So we'll definitely include that, Councilman. All right, then, going into public participation. Councilman Chisholm, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, everyone. We are at public participation. This is your opportunity to speak. You will have 1 minute to speak. If you have joined us via telephone, the option is *9 on your handset to raise your hand, and you will be recognized and unmuted. If you have joined us by video, please use the raise hand feature on there to raise your hand, and you will be recognized. And the same, you will be unmuted at your time to speak. Once you are unmuted, please state your name for the record. And then again, you have 1 minute to speak. At this time, Mr. Mayor, we have 3 people with their hands are up, 4 and 5, and it's moving. So we have quite a few.
All right, good. Then let's start with Mrs. Hankerson.
All righty.
Good evening, citizens. This is Shirley Hankerson. I'm also chair of Parks and Rec, and I'd like to speak on Ned Sanders first. He actually resigned because he took another position. He does the assessments for taxes on homes. So he decided that's what he really wanted to do. So he actually resigned from Parks and Rec. Okay. Another thing is that we have about 8 to 10 gas stations around Inkster, and all of them do nothing but create havoc and crime. And in Michigan Avenue is a prime spot, and you talk about beautification, and we can't go a mile without a gas station between Beach Daily and Henry Ruff, or I'm going to say Merriman, because they just put another one at the corner of Merriman and Michigan Avenue, and they're selling beer, wine, and liquor, and we don't need that. And so we need to start regulating this better than that. And the ones that voted on it, you don't live in our district. So how many gas stations are in your district? All right, I'm a little upset about that. And another thing is, like George said, when we're offering lots to people in our area, ask the neighbor if they would like to expand their property as well, because that would be a great asset for them, to enhance the value of their property too. And that's about it for me for now.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to Millie Gibson.
I'm sending a ask to unmute to her. So I'm not sure if it's coming across the screen, but she does have to accept it.
Okay. You got to accept it, Ms. Gibson.
She fell off, so she might have lost connection, so maybe she'll be back.
Okay. Let's go to Charles Blackwell.
Hello, this is Charles Blackwell. I want to let the City of Inkster residents know that Mayor Wimbley and the City Council has your tax dollars hard at work in court, paying David Jones thousands of dollars to harass me and retaliate against me in court, trying to suppress my rights because of criticism. Now, let me address false accusations accused against me by Stephen Chisholm, Rhonda Glover, and Felicia Rutledge. Not once have I ever threatened anyone from this public body through any email or phone calls that I have had with you at all. For you to level accusations that you are in fear of your safety of me is totally uncalled for. I am paralyzed for the rest of my life. I have no physical way to do any harm to anyone. I'm paralyzed. So for you to level those accusations against me that you are in fear of your safety of me and I'm paralyzed, Like, come on. Let me tell you what Felicia Rellis is afraid of. She's
All
afraid
right.
of me
Thank
getting
you,
the
Mr.
information.
Blackwell. You're at a minute, sir. Thank you very much. All right, next caller, please. Let's go to Pastor Mac, please.
Hi, City Council. I just had a quick question. This is Mac Hall, been a resident for 33 years, sold real estate here in Inkster for 10 years as well. And I just had a quick question. I submitted, I believe, at the beginning of November concerning some lots I was interested in purchasing, and I just want to know how long that process will take. All documents are signed and deposits already on properties or lots.
Pastor Mac, and I'm going to take responsibility where responsibility is due. We have over 50 of just different purchases right now from November until now. It's just been a wave of folks coming in, and our realtors have been working really hard, along with the one person that we have doing properties, working with Mrs. Hines to kind of train her in that, Tracy and Jennings. So we have pretty much got a hold of it. We got the ranks out. That's why you had so many on here tonight. So next council meeting, we'll have another set. So as we get through council meeting, we'll make sure that we prioritize those that have been outstanding. So in regards to, the length of time that they've been on the desk. So we'll definitely look at that, and then I'll have Tracy Ann reach back out to you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
You're welcome, sir. All right, did we get Millie Gibson back? It looked like she jumped back in. She has her hand raised. She's off mute. Go ahead, Mrs. Gibson.
Mayor and Council, I'd like to know why a deaf ears told them and say why. Usually, my for which is the seller's responsibility. I know it was a form of retaliation. I want to know why you ignored me when I came to you about your family and my house, my computers, everything was taken, and yet the police tried to me, the detective will phone you, and I haven't received anything. It's like what happened to me or myself.
Okay. Did you guys hear that she was breaking all the way up?
Yeah, it was some on her end.
Okay. Councilman Chisholm, you just get that number.
It was she logged in by name, not phone number. So
wow. Okay.
Okay. If she's still watching us, just ask that she contact, I guess, the clerk's office.
Yes.
And leave her contact information, because I thought it was my connection.
Yeah, and it sounded like she really had a issue. So we definitely want to work on that. All right, then. Let's see. Now, Steve, that's 8526 number. They've had their hand raised since the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hi, good evening, Council and Mayor. This is Stephanie Taylor from Murray's Real Estate Services.
Hey, Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening. I just want to make note that, yes, it's a lot of deals on the table, and I just want to ask the community to please be patient with the city as well as the agents. They're going to work really, really hard. Don't think you all are forgotten. It's just so many and so much been going on. So we're going to speed everything up. And I just want to applaud Tracy Jennings for, pushing so much going forward. She is just coming on, and we're just going to all work together. Don't think you guys are forgotten about. We just doing the best we can right now under the circumstances. Also, yes, whenever the council get a chance to meet, I do agree, getting with the assessors. I do believe that the lots should be increased. And the reason why I'm saying that, because the market has increased. And I'm willing to do whatever I need to do to work with the council to see what's the best way to we can meet and we can discuss. I can show you some counts, but it's up to you guys. I can't do nothing unless you guys allow me to. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity of working back with you all. And I'm working really hard out here for you guys. And I just want to say thank you again.
Right, awesome. And I will chime and say that Tracy has been doing an excellent job. So we really appreciate that. And you too, Stephanie and Peggy. So, all right, let's have Mrs. Smith, please.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council residents. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, first of all, good evening again. Happy New Year again to those who I have not had an opportunity to say Happy New Year to. Just wanted to just share from Western Wayne Family Health Centers that we have not received the COVID vaccinations for residents as of yet. And the only residents they're really giving them to right now are the residents who are 65 and over, but they're able to go to Beaumont. But as soon as we get that information, I would share it. We want to also let you know that the Inkster Task Force and the Inkster Chamber of Commerce have started a beginning of service in representation of Dr. Martin Luther King. And we're asking that all of our business community and our residential community to just clean up around your own front door so we can get our city back together or together so that it's a beautiful city as it is already. But we want to do it as you know, with cleaning up all of the extra trash and whatever that's out. And of course, if there's a neighbor that you have that's a senior citizen who's not able to do it, or a senior or resident who is disabled, you know, we may be able to help them as well. We just want to clean up around our own front door and just clean up our city. And the last thing I just want to say, just keep on going. Let's keep on going. Let's build this city up because it's happening. It's going to happen. So let's do it together as a unit. And I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I totally applaud you guys for doing that Inkster Task Force and the chamber. I saw that and I thought that was great. So we're definitely going to encourage everybody to keep that momentum going, especially into the springtime. All right, let's do, what was that, 616, Steve? First numbers. Doing good.
Hi everyone, it's Sensei Mandisa. I'm calling from my other phone, so I do have the 616. So I know I probably threw you off, but just wanted to share with the council and with the residents some of the meetings that I'm having with Rhonda, as far as Rhonda Glover, I should say, on behalf of the mayor, as far as the COVID response plan. We're updating the city's COVID response plan to make sure it's in line with the CDC requirements and guidelines. Also a few suggestions that I'm making, and we're still in the process of everything, but I'm suggesting staggering shifts and also appointment-only visitors in the city hall, just to keep, visitors down, transmission down, easier for contact tracing. You know who's in the building at every time. Other than, you have 50 or so people come in and then you try to trace back who was in after the fact is a little hard. So it may look a little different, but that's some of the things that we're working through, and just want to share it with the city that we're on top of this COVID pandemic and doing our best to reduce the risk that's involved in that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mendisa. Now, let me say that City Hall has opened back up. Today was our first day, and Mr. Rob was at the front desk for the most part and making sure people were in the vestibule coming in and doing basically signing in when they came in, with the time that they were into the City Hall, and then not allowing, but so many people inside the actual lobby itself to pay bills and to handle other business. We just been getting an outpour from our citizens as it relates to being able to pay bills conveniently at the City Hall. And we do have, just all of the COVID mechanisms as it relates to social distancing. And then, of course, having our staff protected with behind the actual glass when you come into the hall. So as far as staggering shifts, we're definitely working towards that. Right now, we know that the treasurer's office is probably the busiest out of all of us, where people are coming in just trying to pay their taxes and water bills. So we're definitely taking all that into account of what you said. We know that we have to stay safe in doing that, and we definitely don't want to cause any exposure to anyone. So we're just going to continue to do the best that we can to service the community. But if we have to shut back down, we will alert the community, of course, council. But we want to just make sure that we're servicing the community the safest possible way that we can. And we really appreciate your help and your efforts in making sure we do that in compliance.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mendisa. All right, Monica Miller.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. My name is Monica Miller. This question is for everyone, actually. Mayor, you in particular, I guess, about blight, abandoned homes, foreclosed homes, burned down homes. I contacted you in September of 2019, Mr. Mayor, about a home on my block that was in a fire 8 years ago. Okay, nothing has been done to this home. The owner comes to this home about maybe 4 times out of the year, makes an appearance and leaves. Why aren't the owners of these homes contacted, held accountable? You know, to fix them up.
Yeah, and if you want me to answer that question, if I can, just briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even from you contacting me about that home, number one, the home, like you said, was burnt out. And we do have insurance policies that's connected to homes as it relates to like a bond. So if a person has insurance, the city takes so much money that holds so much money for fire. In this particular instance, that home was one, but because of the follow-up, it was no follow-up, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That it actually expired, and now the homeowner didn't. Of course, the city didn't put any pressure on them to do anything with it. So now it's just sitting blighted. And I'm going to assure you that that's the main goal of this. Well, I'm going to say of the mayor's office, working with the council to make sure that we're doing everything we can to hold people accountable for their properties, especially blighted properties in the city of Inkster. With COVID and all the other barriers that we've been dealing with, just time and just overall the ordinances and making sure that we had the people in place to go out and ticket and do the things that they need to do, going to the judge, because it's a process. It's just going to take us some time to get there. So we're definitely working on to that.
In 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years? How many more years? I mean, how long you gonna work on it?
Well, I'm not. I can only speak for myself. And I'm going to say that this council, I believe, is with me 100% as it relates to changing the image of the city of Inkster as it relates to blight. So that's something that's one of our number one priorities and goals, to make sure that we clean up in the city of Inkster. So,
man, where's this property located at?
Where's your home located? Where's that property located you were saying? What street?
29723 Steinhauer.
Yep. And we are familiar with that. And believe me, we're working towards it. I wish that I could show you overnight, but it's procedures that we have to go through. The property is privately owned. You know, like you said, it's been 8 years, you know, just to follow up and the lack of follow up. So we're going to make sure that we do that. You can hold me accountable for that, to at least get some type of resolution where you'll see where the owner's starting to fix it up, or we tear it down, working with the owner, because it's an actual private location. So, but it's going to take some time, more time.
More, okay, maybe 8 more years.
No, I'm
Come on now.
I'm not saying that, but I can only speak for my time now. So,
of course. Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mr.
if
Mayor?
anybody else on council want to say anything. Mayor Pro Tem Howard?
Yes, when she said 8 years, and when you said something expired, what expired?
So basically, and this, I'm actually going through it right now. It's a bond list. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I can share that. I'll share that with the city council. I don't believe I can share it. David can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I can share it with the general public. But it basically, we hold monies from those homes that have been in a fire or buildings that have been in a fire. We hold a certain amount of money to be able to tear it down if the property owner doesn't fix it up.
Okay.
So what has happened over a certain amount of time, that if we don't put any pressure on the homeowner, the money sits at the insurance company, and then the money goes back to the insurance company.
Okay, because I thought that we received a check. Do we do we actually receive a check for the insurance portion on our side? And because I do know that there was money that was unaccounted for. We had the money, but we didn't know where it went to. So do we
And that's one of the things that Darren was working on.
still have that item?
Yeah, one of the things that Mr. Carrington was working on for me before he left was this list right here, because we have a lot of properties in the city of Inkster that have been burnt out and nothing has happened with them. So he get this list for me, but on this list, and I'll send this list out to you guys. All of this whole front page is expired. So if, say, in 3 years, if you don't do anything with that property as a homeowner, then the money that we were holding essentially should go back to the insurance company. We don't keep, it's not our money to keep unless we tear it down. But we would have to say to the insurance company, hey, this is it, and we tore the property down. Or the owner would come back and say to the insurance company, hey, I fixed the property up. Can I go get my money from the city? And then the city go out and inspect it, give it a C of O, and then sign back over the check to the homeowner. So that's how that works.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir. Councilman.
At one point in time, I know Councilwoman Wiley had held a town hall in the basement of City of Refuge, and she had the fire chief there and ordinance, and there was a whole lot of people from roundtable discussion. And one of the topics came up was Public Act 495 of Michigan, PA 495. Is that what we're talking about?
That's it. Yes, sir. Exactly it.
Okay. Thank you.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Ms. Miller, we will be following back up with you. Believe me, when you call me, I want to get it done. I'm not trying to duck or dodge you or not get it done. At the same time, we do have obstacles that we're dealing with, and I know it's been a lot of time and frustration. So give us a moment. We'll be doing our best to get you some breathing room over there. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so I don't know. I know that Millie looked like she's back on again, but I don't want to broach that right now. Millie, how is your? Can we see if her connection is strong? I can't hear you, Councilman.
Oops. Yep. We can't see if her connection is strong or not. We could try it, but I would suggest, I guess, giving her.
Pop her in, because I know it sounded like she was really frustrated about something. So I want to hear what she got to say.
Okay, I was gonna say too. In the event that she gets disconnected in the middle of it, do you want to call out the clerk's office number for her ahead of time?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Steve. Matter of fact, do that now.
I don't know the number offhand.
I'm sorry. Oh, look, she dropped off again. Okay,
yeah.
So moving right along. Okay, I see Shirley had her hand back up, but we're gonna move right into comments for our folks. All right, City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor and Council and residents of the city of Inkster. I just wanted to say for the record that what I am threatened by with Charles Blackwell is his erratic and excessive and persistent behavior. Those are things like I said, I have over 180 emails from him. They're not all FOIA related. So those are the things that those are threatening things to me. When someone keeps sending me emails, I think I've received 5 emails from him today. Just received one a few minutes ago. So those are things that are threatening to me when people act in those type of erratic ways. And so I just wanted to make that known for the record. I'm an upstanding citizen of this community, and I think most of you all know me, you know my reputation, and I wouldn't do anything illegal. I always try to be on the up and up about everything and anything that I do. And so I just want to let that be known for the record. Thank you.
All right, and I'll stamp that for you, City Clerk, because I know I know your heart and your mind. And I say too, I mean, every day we get an email from Charles Blackwell. We just got another one just now. All right, moving right along. Treasurer report, please.
He's back on there.
Go ahead. VJ, you're on mute, sir.
Oh, is this better?
That's better. We can hear you.
So bear with me. I've got a few things I want to go through. I know it's near the end of the meeting, but I think these are important. First off, this was alluded to, but City Hall is now open for in-person payment. We do have COVID procedures, social distancing measures in place. With that said, it is still a safer option to mail in your payments or use a drop box. We will take in-person payments, no question, but just in the interest of trying to keep everybody safe, residents and employees, still do consider alternative measures of payment. Secondly, we've been recently informed by Wayne County that a portion that we spent on demolishing buildings in summer of 2019, so this was just under 2 years ago, is not eligible for reimbursement through the Community Development Block Grant due to procedural errors at that time. So we're assessing this situation, and we're waiting for a written report from Wayne County, which details the situation entirely, as well as the exact amount.
So buildings.
Let me get those.
Old Woodson School and the Blue Store.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the mayor and I are working on trying to see what we can do about this, what we can recoup, and if we can fix this situation.
Amount? What's the appropriation?
It could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So
I mean, I saw the number 226.
That's for 1 year, but then there's an additional almost 140 for a prior year issue, I think, as well. So in total,
300,000.
In total, it could be 366, and the mayor and I are trying to work on that. Again, this is prior to Mayor Wimberly. We're trying to get where we can on this. We're trying to fix what we can. Next, we reached a settlement in 2 litigation cases. In the first one, our exposure is $54,000, and that will be, the plan is to place that on the summer 2021 tax roll. In the second litigation, our exposure is $2 million, and that's going to be spread evenly over summer 2021, winter 2021, and winter 2022 taxes.
And VJ, just for clarification, please, with the 54,000, the actual case was what? Do you know? Or can we talk about that?
I wasn't sure.
Hold on one second, City Clerk. Is the public?
Is he able to, Attorney Jones? Because I was.
Can he say what the cases are?
Yeah, that was the Nelson case, which was settled by both parties accepting case mediation award.
Okay, and then the one for $2 million?
That was the Crowder case, the police fatality with regard to the high-speed chase.
Correct. It's just for the general public. We want to make sure that they know the information. Thank you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to say that or not. So I will, at the next meeting, give an exact amount that we can expect to be on the tax rolls. Up next, I did want to mention.
Let me just make sure, VJ, and I'm not trying to step on you.
No, you're fine.
As it relates to that too, what I would like to see, and you talked about it earlier about some of the actual lawsuits falling off of our tax roll. So we may have some actual reduction in the taxes, but then we're going to actually put on these other payments. So give us a list of the ones that's falling off, and the dates and all of that stuff, and how much, and then the new ones that's coming on, and then of course how much and how long.
Yep, exactly. So we have if you look on your winter tax bill, you will see judgment levy number 15 with a millage of 2.85620. And this millage actually expires December of 2020, so the current tax period. So that one is falling off. In the summer tax bill, there is judgment levy number 9, which is a millage for 4.1657 mils. And that millage will expire in June of 2021. So the summer 2021 taxes.
Okay. And you'll definitely give us a report on that.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
And then I apologize. I've got plenty more to give right here.
Oh, go ahead.
So I wanted to say that Tracy Ann Jennings, Rhonda Glover, Plant Moran, and I have been working in coordination with other departments, and we have been very involved in working to bring the city up to date on delinquent grant requirements. The SAFER grant, the FEMA grant, coronavirus relief government grant, bless you, the first response hazard pay premium program, they've all been brought current. We're close to bringing the public safety and public health payroll reimbursement program current. We're close to bringing the MIDC grant current. These were all past due with some requirements going back as far as 2019. And so what Tracy and I are doing is, I alluded to this before, we're trying to create a robust grant management process to ensure we stay on top of requirements, that we know all of our current grants, deliverables to the state, as well as what grants we can target next. Up next, this is something that we're hoping to implement in the next couple of months. We are working to provide an e-check payment option on our website. Our current site features a credit and debit card payment, but as people know, that's usually a few % of your payment. E-check is usually around $1. We're still figuring out the exact amount, but what that means is it will be a much less for a processing fee. And the upside to that is if it's about $1, it's quicker than getting in your car, driving down to City Hall. It reduces exposure, plus you get an immediate receipt of payment in your email. Also on the website, and Mayor, you just alluded to some of the millages we have. Something I started working on is a page which defines all of the current millages on your property tax bills. I think it's important for people to know what they're paying for. We've had questions about this. So once we get that, all those terms defined, we're going to put that out on the website so it's easy for people to find, and so they can always look it up. Up next, I want to touch on forecasting. So Plant Moran and I have sent revenue and expenditure reports to all department heads. In these files, we provided space for an expected balance as of June 30th, 2021, as well as explanations for every budget line at that time as well. So we're hoping to get these back next week, but it's going to take a couple of rounds of back and forth. But what this will do is it will provide us with a very in-depth understanding of where we expect to be financially at June 30th, 2021. And then what I plan to do is I will send this file out to department heads monthly. So this first time around, it's going to be painful. I know this, but it will get easier each month. It'll stress financial accountability at the department level, as well as awareness. And it'll ensure that both the department heads and my team are on the same page regarding what's in the budget, what they can spend, and where they can expect their budget line to end up. Further, this sort of analysis will also help us create the fiscal year 21-22 budget. And then kind of building off of that, given that analysis, I'd like to request a special meeting specific to the budget amendments and the forecasted June 30th, 2021 values. Since this, like I said, it's going to require a fair amount of back and forth. And this is usually a lengthy process, especially since we're implementing it. I would like this meeting to occur during the 3rd week of February. It will still take a lot of work for us to make that deadline. But I do think that it will give us a chance to give you a true understanding of where we are at. Up next, and I promise I'm close to the end, the 2020 city audit. So the Inkster Housing Commission is focused on completing their audit so the city can file as well. I do want to note that IHC had an extension due to COVID until March 31st, but they're trying to work with us to finish early so that the city can file sooner than later. We currently have a due date of February 1st, 2021, but I'll apply for another month extension to March 1st, which is what IHC and I have put as our goal. And we should expect to get that extension I already applied for it on January 4th, but the state said they were too busy with a couple other things and asked me to send it in later in January.
And just for a point of clarification for the general public, so Inkster Housing Commission, is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
You say IHC?
Yep.
Okay. And in order for us to file our audit, we have to have theirs as well?
Yeah. So what that'll do is once IHC finishes their audit, they'll be able to provide that audit to Raymond, who is the city's auditors. Raymond needs maybe 2 weeks to get everything finalized and together. And then at that point, we can expect an unqualified audit opinion, which is essentially saying that our books are proper and clean. Second to last, I just wanted to touch on IT real quick. I wanted to say Darius Bosket has been working incredibly hard. I just want to applaud his efforts. He's installed the new servers. He has fixed the voicemail problems plaguing many employees, including myself. And he is close to getting the VPN licenses and fixing the issue with remote logins for employees. And lastly, I just want to give a shout out to my team. They're amazing individuals. They've been working together amazingly as a group. I want to express my appreciation for them, as including Plant Moran. So that's all I got. Is that
Awesome, VJ. You guys actually, so the city council, you have a report. We just sent it out today, and I apologize for the delayed response. I just wanted to make sure we had everything in there for you all. So you can't expect the monthly reports in the beginning of each month. However, we just had a lot of outstanding things that we wanted to make sure that we put into the monthly report. So I know you may have questions. If you have any questions or comments now, of course, feel free to ask those. At the same time, you can contact VJ directly and go from there.
I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Let's do Councilman Chisholm first and then Councilman Shaw.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did have an opportunity to go over the budget earlier today. I'm sorry, not the budget, the check vendor list. And I had looked at it when it was revolving around IT, and I noticed we had spent for Wi-Fi connectivity issues at the PD $4,656.73, and that was in addition to computers for the PD of $8,074.87, in addition to their contract salary of $4,047.50. And it came up to about $16,779.10 for the month of December alone. I was just trying to get a grasp onto why was that $16,000 for the month of December for what I thought was normal stuff that would be covered in our contract.
Yeah, so the 4,600 you referenced for the PD, it related to certain hardware costs, and I think the work was done in early November, if I'm not mistaken. So
did that come out of their budget line item, or did that come out the general fund?
Coming out the general fund. But it's under their budget line.
Yeah, it should hit the police department here. Pull that one up.
Yeah, I had the same questions too, just so you know, because I just received it too.
Okay.
Just because, and I think that was something that Mr. Carrington probably needs to speak to towards that.
Okay, and the only reason I really raised concerns because I was like, if I know there's issues that happen, throughout time, but I was like, that's a lot of money, especially for a salary employee. So I didn't know if that was overtime. I didn't know if that was parts and equipment, if that was labor. That's just astronomical.
Yeah, I mean, there's hardware that was being purchased, and that's a significant component of that.
Okay.
And I think that we just need a report on that, just because it was stuff that was already purchased with Mr. Cody and things that they had already over at the PD, along with also too with the court. So it's some court costs in there too, as well. Some installations that they made over there for the monitoring systems on the doors and things of that nature. So I think those are the 8,000 is like one in like it's 2 invoices inside of that.
Okay, and then I guess with those invoices, if we, I'm assuming have accounts with these vendors that then the stuff was already ordered. How come the check was cut to Nerds Express and not the vendor?
Right, yeah, Nerds Express is a vendor. I understand that Nerds Express actually was doing work for Inkster before
So
we
then
had
this is
hired him as a consultant.
so this is just labor and not parts then,
No,
or
I
it's
mean,
just
it's both. So we need to, we definitely need to clarify that for you so you can have that in writing on what it
Sure.
is.
Can I interrupt, Mayor?
Go ahead, Mr. Boss.
There is a slight complication with you can go ahead and pull up with the vendor. There are CDW government was our previous vendor who Mr. Cody had been the correspondent on, and I believe since he left, they hadn't addressed a big bill that they had for $23,000. So I talked to Mr. VJ today and told him it might be in the city's best interest to use Nerds Express as a vendor. Just because of the complications with CDW and that existing bill.
And that was something that was already approved. I think that's why we need to make it clear, because they picked up the work with CDW from CDW. It was the work that we had already had approved for the hardware to be installed, and CDW didn't do the work. And Mr. Cody, we couldn't communicate with him. I actually have emails from him basically saying stop communication with him because he's an employee over in Westland now. So we just need to just make sure we spell that out.
okay. And then my additional question to that was, I did see where they had mentioned they had bought monitors or cameras for the employees, and the cameras speaking of webcams. I was just curious as to why we bought monitors with cameras instead of just some external webcams to plug into what was already existing.
So actually with this, Mayor, I know you probably remember I was emailing you on Friday night about this. I actually would like to change a little bit of what's happened. So I know that I think 3 laptops were given to City Council, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to request that those 3 laptops are given back to the city, and we provide City Council with Chromebooks instead. And the reason for this is those 3 laptops can then be repurposed. Darius told me it would take about 1 hour for each one to be repurposed for employees here. And we believe that Chromebooks would be sufficient for what City Council needs in terms of being able to look at PDFs or Word documents, and it would have the webcam. Plus, if we did that, it should save us a couple $1,000s. Plus, it will also likely take less time from IT to have to pay attention to the Chromebooks. So I know Mayor Pro Tem Howard, I spoke with you about this late last week, and you were on board with it. But then kind of in reference to what you were saying, Councilman, is the monitors with webcams, given that we're going to be distributing some of these laptops, we won't need as many of those monitors. Further, I would prefer that we just get webcams that can latch on to what we currently have. And I think that would save us some additional money.
All right. I guess with their Chromebooks, as long as they're comparable to what the specs are for the laptops and everything, I'm fine. I hope we don't get, because we've been asking for these laptops for quite some time, and we finally got them, and now you're telling me they're about to get repossessed. So I hope that they have the same capabilities, because if not, we already know I'm going to be complaining heavily, and I'm sure Mayor Pro Tem, Councilwoman Blackley, and the rest of my colleagues will as well, because in the past we've been using our own devices, but when our devices fail and things of that nature, we have to figure out a way to get on council meetings with these virtual. And going forward, VJ, if you can, I don't know, because one of the main reasons we even have them right now is because of COVID. I don't know if purchasing these devices can be reimbursed with COVID relief, especially with the presidency getting ready to change and all of that stuff. What can be included in those reimbursements that we might seek out? I thought, and I think some of my colleagues, and correct me if I'm wrong, were under the impression that we could request reimbursement for these devices under the COVID relief because it was kind of something we never really needed majorly before because we were meeting in person and getting hard copies. At this point in time, we need it. If we don't have any personal devices without these, we're just lost in the dark.
Right. And that, I completely understand that. And the reason I mentioned the Chromebooks is because I discussed this with Dustin. And Dustin, I don't know if you're on the line here, if you want to chime in regards to the ability
let's stop because VJ, you know how I feel about it. I told you, hey, they've been waiting for these they've been waiting for the you said you talked to Mayor Pro Tem and she's on board, but at the same time, I know that Councilwoman Wiley and Councilman Chisholm have been waiting for the laptops, and I didn't even want to just broach this subject.
Right.
At the same time, we know that you're counting the beams. So at the end of the day, is it going to be a cost savings and it's going to be adequate for what they need to be able to perform their duties? And then Councilman Chisholm is right. Can we put it into a request for PPP? So that's what we need to find out, at this point, because where's the line item from where, and I've asked you this question, to where you paid for the laptops. And I know it was kind of before you got here, in between where Darren bought them. So, but we don't know, did Darren buy them on his card? Is he looking for a reimbursement? I mean, what's going on with that?
So one of the considerations we have with that is I don't think those items have been expensed yet.
So where are they going to be expensed out of the council's budget? Because the council, just like the mayor's office, has a budget.
Right. All right.
Understanding
but it's only three of them that has computers. Even though council has a budget, it's only 3 that got computers, so it's not spent across the board with that.
And that's what we need to figure out.
And so one of my
Councilman Shaw, I'm gonna recognize you. I hear you. We want to stay in order. So did you want to make a statement about that?
No, you bringing up council's budget. I understand council's budget, but it's only 3 that was purchased. If you're trying to use council's budget, we got to make sure all council members have whatever they need to perform their duty.
Amen.
Right.
Amen.
And that's exactly what I'm saying too. I understand that. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not because we're looking at adding an additional 3 laptops with what you already have, so to be comparable, or we're going to take the laptops back and then you guys are going to all agree on Chromebooks. So, but at the same time, where's the money coming from?
Mr.
To
Mayor,
pay for the devices now.
I know in previous conversations in the emails that like back a couple months ago and most recently, that was asked for all of our colleagues if anybody was interested in getting them. I thought everybody had responded, but because of how they got responded, I think some got theirs before the others. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. This is for the entire council. I agree.
You sure that?
Mr. Mayor?
All right.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
In those Chromebooks, if it's gonna save the city some money, I said that I will be okay with that. But with this Chromebooks, will it have BSNA on here? Because our laptops right now do not have that. So will that have all the functions that we need as a council person? Those Chromebooks?
Can I answer that, Mayor?
Yes. Hi, Darius.
Go ahead, Darius.
Hello. How you doing, Ms. Howard?
I'm doing good.
That's good to hear. Basically, the Chromebooks are an adequate solution. I say they're more than adequate for what you guys need them for. I said the laptops are more for heavy duty purposes, like heavier duty applications. And since you're using BSNA, which is on the city hall server, the server at the city hall location, all the work and the intense processing power, all that stuff is being done on the server. So it's not actually being done on the computer. So basically, the Chromebook is more than enough for what you guys need for email, web browsing, videos, and collaboration, that sort of thing. The laptop would be for something a little bit heavier duty. And I would say that the Chromebooks will save a pretty penny for sure.
What about?
And one more question.
Stay in order.
One more question. While I have you on the phone, I emailed you to change my email I mean, reset my email password, and I'm not sure if that's taking place, but I cannot get in my email, my city emails right now. So you can give me a call because I left my number.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that. I got you.
Okay, so just give me a call tomorrow. I'm at home tomorrow, so you can just give me a call tomorrow.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Williams.
I just want to know this particular machine he's talking about getting is going to allow me to lay out. I do my own newspaper in my community and stuff like that. Respond. Is this going to be able to do that, layouts and stuff like that? Okay. My laptop does all of that, so I'm just trying to figure out from him. It's going to allow me that the programs in there to work with that. Some people they.
Right, Mr. Boston, can you answer that question, please, sir?
Sure. It actually depends on which application or which software you use to do the work that you're talking about.
Well, right now I use as Publisher. I use as Words.
Yeah. I got an idea of what you're talking about, sir. So basically, you're using memory intensive programs, and the Chromebooks that I picked out have an adequate enough memory. Thanks for right for what you're talking about, for the applications you're talking about. So yes, yep, you can do all that on the Chromebook.
The world we living in. This is awesome.
What's the?
No, I just said, hey, this is the world we living in. We're on virtual. You're walking around the store. We're getting business done. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I
Jumping out of
apologize. I've been going since 10 o'clock. I haven't had.
No doubt. I know. I'm just saying. Just please stop it. I'm sorry, guys. Please let me get back to order. Apologies. Go ahead, Councilman Williams. Were you done, sir?
On that question there, you haven't got the council.
Oh yeah. Of course. No, we ain't got to that point yet.
Okay, when you get to that,
still on BJ's report.
Yes.
Okay, Mayor.
I'm
sorry.
I just need him to set up. Okay, I'm trying to give him an adequate time because I know he's new. I need to sit down and we need to go through this budget. I am concerned about it. I see some things in there that really disturbs me. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to roll our sleeves up as council people along with the treasurer and the mayor, and we need to sit here and make sure that we know which way we're headed. Okay. Now we've been getting reports. Now this report I got now, it really disturbs me, and I know it's a different outline of what we've been getting. Okay, so now it brings to my attention. Okay, now that it's being properly laid out like this, we need to talk. Find out exactly. Because it doesn't make sense to end up at the end of the year somewhere running a big deficit or anything like that. And I see a lot of different points into that budget that he gave us that is going to cause us to do that if we don't make some decisions.
Well, let me just say, frankly, that from speaking with Plant Moran, we need to get back to the levels of 2015 when we were in the consent agreement as it relates to the operations overall. We've been talking to the various unions as it relates to that, PD and of course fire. Just because that's pretty much what's affecting our general budget. And then of course, with our department heads just pretty much laying it out to where we need to look at the budget and see where we can make cuts. And we know that cuts aren't going to do it all. So that's why we have to get some of this property off of our list and put it onto other people's lists so we can create some more taxes and some more revenue. And also too, just looking at bringing in different aspects of grant writers, working with, we've met with several grant writers as it relates to just proposals to bring them in to start looking at monies as it relates to PPP and things that we're missing that we can't do because we're really running on the skeleton crew. But that's the reality. The budget is the harsh reality is that we're sinking fast, and we definitely need to come together and figure it out. But really, to be honest, if we don't get back to the levels of 2015, we're going to be looking at some issues in the next couple of years.
Well, if that's our goal, though, we need to start now. We should,
Yeah, well, we're doing it, but we got to have the information.
Let me finish this. Hold on for a minute.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We need to sit down as a team, okay, and go through the budget and find out things that we can live with and things we can't live with, okay, and we need to put it into place, okay. It's so many times people run into the bad operation, get in debt because the simple fact is poor planning. Okay, and so I'm looking at, the report that I got from him. I see a lot of different concerns I had tonight, but like I said, he said he's working on it, and we're gonna set some time where we're gonna talk about that budget. Okay, because I know you the mayor, you operate the budget like you want it, but yet and still you're gonna need us as policymakers to sit here and establish the type of policies that's going to make you shine down the road.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, let's make sure we're clear on that. The budget is, of course, I present it, but at the same time we vote on it, and it's to me this in the treasurer to keep it where we're at. And right now we're
right now, Mr. Mayor. It's a lot of disturbance in the budget that I see. Okay, and concern I won't get into it tonight, but like I said, if we're going to be accountable to the people, then we're gonna have to deal with this budget.
That's right.
Okay, and some things happen down the road, we need to talk about.
That's what we're here for. Yes, sir.
Because I hear everybody just now talking about accountability, but then I go back down there in the 15s and the 16s and the 17s and the 18s and the 19s, and there's a whole lot of questions. Where was accountability at then? Okay, so let's roll up our sleeves and come a team, because a divided house gonna fall. I guarantee you that.
And again, I mean, I know that we're in a precarious situation right now, and what will really help us is the analysis at the department level with the department heads. That is the only way we can truly project where we will be at. Like if I'm sitting in a room and I'm determining someone else's budget, it's not really going to work. We truly need the department heads to work in unison with us so that we can figure out, hey, where is this truly going to go? Because there's no way for me to know if there's an expected expenditure at the police department, fire department, city clerk's office. Like, that's something that only open lines of communication will fix. And you're absolutely right that the general fund has gone down over the last couple of years. I think it was December or January of a year ago where Plant Moran put forth the presentation to City Council, which showed that, the number, we had almost $4 million in the general fund in 2018.
Yeah.
In 2017. By 2019, that had dipped to 2 million. And then 2020, let me see if I can pull up that balance real quick.
Million.
Yeah, it had dipped to that. And I mean, we are on pace to not really have that sort of reserve. So, I mean, you're exactly right. There has to be accountability. And the best way to create that budget is to do a true bottoms up budget where you know every component of what's in your budget.
Amen.
And the way we have to play it is, and I think a lot of people in this call have heard me say this before already, if you make $100, you can't spend 105 if you don't have any in your pocket already.
Right.
That's just the long and short of it. And that's how we have to treat things. So, I mean, there's been a few department heads that have already asked me for things, and I will apologize the same way I have apologized in my emails to you. At this time, I need a better grasp on everything before we start making some of those larger commitments again. Like, that's just that's where we're at. So we need to be judicious and make sure we're doing the right thing.
That's right.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yes, thank you. In reference to the IT talk we were talking about, was I clear in understanding that Nerd Express is the vendor as well as the people who put the equipment in? And I'm using that as that's who we buy it from and then they put it in, or no?
No.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Because that seems like a conflict of interest to me, so.
Yeah, before they had did work for us before they became our actual, directors, well, the IT consultants for the city of Inkster. That they were hired through the court and the PD to do some work for them as it relates to installation of their monitoring system for COVID. So the other piece of that was CCW was the vendor that we all approved to be able to do the installation of our hardware that we received, and they weren't able to do it for whatever reason. Communication with Mr. Cody failed to make it happen. So that's why we've been having so many issues with the system, and that's when VG had presented that emergency thing to you all.
So is this Ubiquity we're talking about when you do CDW? Is that the name they use?
No, Ubiquity is actual software. I mean,
Okay,
hardware.
all right.
Hardware.
Okay, so they're not the vendors as well as the people who are putting in the stuff. That's two separate things.
Correct.
Because I thought I heard him say that they decided Nerd Express should be the vendor also.
No. But I know what you're talking about, though.
Well, help me out then.
Just for point of clarification, they actually picked up the contract work to finish out the work that CW started.
Now, is this the $40,000 that was approved? Are we talking about that? That $40,000 and I guess huh?
Correct. Yep.
Okay,
That's right.
but I understand everything but $15,000 paid for the equipment, and the $15,000 that they were asking for the last time was supposed to go for them to install it. That's not correct? I'm misunderstanding what?
No, I think it's kind of a couple of things happening here. So if I could be able to come back with a report for you, I think it's better just to outline it in writing. So you know we can just go through the points, and then you can say, okay, I don't understand this, and then we can answer that. You know, versus me trying to answer it and get these guys to answer right now, because we approved like 40,000. That wasn't just 15,000 for equipment. It was like 28,000 in equipment.
Right,
like that.
and the 15 was left over for installation.
Right, something like that. But don't get me, I don't want to just be stumbling trying to figure it out for you. Let me put together a report for you. That way you will have it.
Okay, and for clarification, once again, the police department and the court, whatever IT items they had completed, that came out of their individual budgets, not out of the general budget?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And we do have emails between Priscilla and Chief Ratliff back to Mr. Carrington, then over to VJ now.
Okay.
To the line items and monies.
Those were my questions. Thank you.
Mr.
You're
Mayor?
welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is from my comments as well. At the end of the day, even though the police and fire, it's still coming out of general fund, whether it be up under their budget line or not, it's still coming out of general fund. Correct?
Yeah, but it has to be budgeted though. So it's
right. But I'm just saying,
fund, you know, that way we're not saying it's just general fund. Everything that we budget is a line item budget.
Well, I understand that, but at the end of the day, it's still general fund at the end. It's still coming out of
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my concerns too. I did email you. I know me and you had a conversation, and I emailed you, but I can't get in my email to find out whether or not if you responded back to me in regards to the HR department and the payroll department. But I did locate back in 2015, the city of Inkster has job descriptions for every department, okay? And in these job descriptions, 5 or more years professional experience of human resources is required to even try to be a HR department in the city of Inkster, which has not been done. Other things too I have, so I'm not sure if I need to have a special meeting on this so we can talk about it. But there's a lot of people upset because one person cannot run 3 departments. That's unacceptable. The next thing too is that when
that's not the case, so I just want to make sure.
Well, hold up. Wait a minute.
You've done that, Mayor Pro Tem, a lot. You've spoken to the record, just different stuff, and I'm not challenging you on it. So
I know, but you can challenge me, but let me finish because I do have the floor.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So when we discussed the HR, you said that your administrative assistant was filling in until you got that position filled.
Correct.
Okay, and we had expressed concerns about that because the lack of knowledge that she has for the Human Resource Department.
knowledge
Okay,
of
but I'm looking in this job descriptions, okay? Certification of professional and human resources, okay? Knowledge of employment law, labor law, recording, human resource risk management. And it's not the person, it's the position. And I don't think she's qualified and I don't think she should be in there. But when you last spoke to us, you stated that she was only filling in until that position was filled. But we get our calendars, and I've got a lot of calls this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Why is her name down as HR director? Did you give her that position and didn't tell us?
No, we just met, so it was a misprint. So it actually was supposed to say human resources / executive assistant.
But she was over printing, she was over the calendars, correct?
Yeah, but misprints can happen. So
that's not a misprint, Mr. Mayor. But that's what you calling it, but that's not a misprint.
Well,
not when you know that
you asked the
that's
question,
not a misprint.
so I said what I said.
Okay, well, maybe we should have a special meeting because
it's my appointment. Let's just say right off, it's my appointment.
It's your appointment, but if you're not appointing people that are qualified, we do have a problem.
Well, yeah,
we do have a problem because HR is a lot of
and let me say this. We went out to the for HR professional. We interviewed at least 5 candidates.
Okay.
We ended up with our former HR person, Mrs. Deja Rose, who's actually still working with us. We have her on payroll working with us still.
So that's more money we spending out, but go ahead.
Well, it's because we have it in the generalist position, which Deja Rose came from the generalist position. So let's be clear on what we're doing.
Okay.
Now, the actual salary, and I came to this body before with Mr. Carrington and asked for the salary to be pushed up to about $60,000 and it was denied.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Well, I remember it in the budget amendments as we were going through the budget itself for the regular budget, and it was denied. So right now, the HR salary in the city of Inkster is like 48,000 tops. It's not enough money. We're not getting.
So we would need to bump that up to 60,000 and put it back out there. Well, what about the candidates that already applied for that job that was not accepted? Did you go to the next person?
Yeah, but I mean, each one of them, they denied it because of the salary was too low.
Okay, so maybe if that's something the council will,
we have to find the money.
We got to find the money. But we can't run a department, Mayor, with someone who's not qualified. It's not going to help.
She is qualified.
We may pay, no, she's not. We may pay now. We may save now, but we're going to pay it later.
Okay,
so which one are we going to do?
I'm on the record when she is qualified. It is my appointment.
No, she's not. If she was qualified, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm not talking about her as a position, but I know she's not qualified. If she's qualified, then she would not need Deja's help. If she was qualified, I mean, we're not going to talk about that.
That's just like Mr. Carrington. What do we say? Mr. Carrington transitioned VJ. So
okay, so what about the payroll? You cannot have your admin come into the organization. Now she's doing payroll. Now she's doing HR. Come on now, somewhere that's going to be
we've been closed, and she's been able to handle everything.
Okay, so why wasn't there payroll? Payroll has already been budgeted. Why we can't find nobody for that?
We put that out there. We've been trying.
Okay, we never found that. We never found that out there. We never found that, or we never found that.
Posted. It's been posted. The general's position.
We never seen it. Can you tell me where you posting this stuff at so we can go look at it?
Been posted on the Indeed website, and it's been posted on the city's website.
Okay, so
that happened months ago. So you got to catch up with me. Okay. But as far as talking about the administration, come into the office and actually work with me and see for yourself what we're doing.
We like I said, we either gonna pay now or we're gonna pay later. Because it's gonna be some stuff in there that's not.
I understand. I get it.
Does she have a certification of professional human resources? I would like to see that. I would like to see her credentials. I would like you to send this body.
Check your email.
I would like for you to send this body her credentials in HR.
That's fine.
And I'm quit saying
that's fine, Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, and I'm done. I'm done.
Until we get some more money into that.
Well, like I said, I just want you to send her credentials in HR and payroll.
It's already
Okay.
sent.
Okay, well, I
Already
haven't
sent.
seen, well, my
But at the
email
end-
is down.
Let me just say this. At the end of the day, per the charter, it's my decision. So we're
But
gonna
at the
move
end of the
forward.
day, Mr. Mayor, we can override you. Did you see that in your charter?
Well, override it.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to
Nothing to
help.
argue about.
I'm not arguing with you and I'm not disagreeing, but it's been a lot of
You always
confusion on
disagree
it.
with me, Mayor Pro Tem, but that's
No, I
fine.
don't
It's on the
always
record.
disagree with you.
That's okay.
I agree
Moving
with
forward.
you when I feel like it's necessary.
I hear
But
you.
if I don't feel like it's necessary, I'm not going to agree with
But you
anybody. It
can't.
don't have nothing to do with.
But you're speaking out of what you've heard instead of what you saw and what you're
Okay,
working with.
well, like I
Instead of actually
said,
coming working with me.
can you just
You're working
please
with
send this
everybody else
body,
instead of working with me. So that's what it is.
just send this, please send this body her
You've already
credentials.
done
That's
it.
all
I
I'm
said- I
No,
said-
you have not. We've never said.
You just said you would check your
Councilperson-
email. What are you talking about? I just sent out the report today as it relates to Rhonda and everything.
Okay,
that
well,
she's
I
doing
have
in the
not
background.
gotten my
What you gonna say?
email.
Okay,
So
can we keep going? You can see the made her statement, so let's keep moving, please.
No, I mean, she actually makes statements all the time that I never really challenge, so I'm gonna make sure.
Well, you can challenge, we can challenge, but okay, I yield. I'm done.
Can I say
I'm
this?
done.
Can I say
Go
this?
ahead.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
got out of order too, because everybody has not spoken, Mr. Councilman Williams. So when
You just said
everybody
you were done, Mayor
speaks,
Pro Tem.
then-
You just
right,
said
but
you were done.
everybody else haven't spoken.
So I'm the chair. So-
Okay, well, chair.
All right then. All right then. So now.
Tell me when I can speak.
So now let's just start here. Councilman Williams, are you ready? Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours. This is for council comments.
Now, I'm just saying this, okay? All right, looking at our situation, okay? The young lady is doing a fine job in there, okay?
Who said
Now,
she?
when you come talking about the certain qualifications and various stuff like that down the road, okay? I've seen people in that position did not meet qualifications, okay? So the thing about it is, and when she sit back and she get ready to take a look at this budget and what we got to deal with, you might not want to move her. You see what I'm saying? So for the qualifications, what she doing the job. Now she's been on that job for I know about a couple months, a month.
60 days she's been doing it.
Yeah.
A little bit longer, actually.
And she's been holding together. Okay, I know she's and frankly, if I could speak on her behalf, she'd probably say I'm tired, but she's holding in there trying to hold the city together. I mean, let's take some time to come there and see for
She's
ourselves.
doing just like everybody else in the city's doing. All of us are stretched thin. Everybody's working extremely hard. Everybody has a few hats that we're wearing.
I think we need to come
I'm
together.
speaking up for her. She does a great, she does an excellent job.
And make the best. We come together as a unity. See, a united house won't never fall. But see, if we keep on dividing house, we're gonna fall. Okay. And the thing about it doesn't make sense. We're gonna disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. Like I said, that's the mayor's appointment, but yet and still, if the person messing up the job, is she doing a job?
She's actually doing an excellent job.
You understand? Now, I can take my hat off and talk about a whole lot of folks. Are they doing their job? Do they hold their job because they got it? Are they doing their job? Okay. So let's look at what's going on and try to move this city forward. Eventually, we'll be able to get up there if we work hard enough as a team. Eventually, we'll get ready to get up there and get somebody that we can hire $100,000 a year. Okay, but right now we can't even afford that.
Yeah. Okay. Councilman, was that your comments though? Your comments for the night?
No.
That's where we're at. You're in comments for tonight. You're in comments for tonight. Now you wasn't rebutting.
You know what?
This is council comments.
You know, you always
spend a lot of time right now.
That's cool. I'm used to it. You know.
So you want me to come back to you?
Yeah. I'm used to it.
You want me to come back to you, sir?
No, I just want to make just a few statements.
Okay. You want me to come back to you? Are you ready now?
I'll come back.
Okay. Councilman Chisholm, you ready?
Sure.
Any statements?
Yes.
Comment?
First off, just in regards to what Mayor Pro Tem was speaking on, I did send an email to the entire council, the HR resources email address. Felicia Rutledge, or city clerk, and I sent it to Miss Glover as well. And I was actually referencing, and this was on January 8th, 2021, when I couldn't sleep. So it was about 2:20 in the morning. So everybody should have got it first thing in the morning. And like some of my other emails, they haven't been addressed over time. But I was inquiring about when you had mentioned at that past council meeting that the job had been posted, just because different people always ask me about jobs in the city of Inkster. I even included screenshots to show that on the city of Inkster's website, there were no job postings, even for the police department. On Indeed, there's nothing for the city of Inkster. So I asked, where could I be directed to look these jobs up? Because when people ask me, I forward them the links or tell them where to go look them up, and I could not identify them. The last thing I guess it was posted might have been in October or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but so I was trying to get that information. Like I saw your email today in response to Mayor Pro Tem's concerns about the calendar, because I had those same things. So,
Was that on
saying,
that, was that on that email though?
yes, it
Oh, you did? Okay.
was.
Then you could have picked up the phone and called and asked because that way we can talk. I probably didn't see the email.
No, and that's why I said that's cool. I sent it, like I said, nobody responded though. So I'm not talking about just you. I sent it to 10 plus people. So
yeah, but I know I'm the one that's that is held responsible for it. So
absolutely, and I think just in regards to Mayor Pro Tem, and we've talked about this before on different occasions, and with what we refer to the city charter, and we talk about section 6.5 D, and it talks about the last sentence says the mayor shall confer with hires and terminations of the council. I think really, even though it's your appointment, I think one of the things that some people just get disgruntled with is the appointment is made and then we're told after the fact. We might have had a disagreement with beforehand, and we could have solidified that before we even got to that point. And it still could have just been us agreeing to disagree. You might have said, hey, I choose to appoint this person to this position. We might say we don't like that. And you would have said, okay, well, they're going to be still appointed their interim temporarily. Not trying to do everything on the back end, just like when we spend money in emergency capacities and then we go ahead and come to council come before council with a request for council action, and the motion fails because we don't want to do business like that. We don't want to continue to do business like that. And with that, if we're at that point where you all just had a conversation about vetoing, that's not the type of politics we want to play here, where we got to start vetoing every single decision that you make. So if we told on the front end, we ain't got to cover it up and bring it up on the rear on the back end. And then my last statement
I work towards that. I hear you. I appreciate that. I work towards that. If we're going to be congenial, for sure.
All right. And my last statement is in regards to a comment that was made earlier about an affidavit that I did sign on behalf of this body and some of my employees who have expressed concern about fear for their safety. And yes, I did express concern for the fear of my safety. First of all, we're on a virtual meeting. Nobody ever really sees me get up or down or do anything. You don't know what's going on. I also have my own disability. I have a cornea disease. I can't see everything. Even at night, my eyes deflect light. So you don't know what I'm physically capable of or not capable of. People see me and they think I'm perfect. They think I'm Superman, and which I'm not. And I just wanted to say that just because of some of the emails we have had, some of the things that go on in people's personal lives outside of what everybody sees right here and think is just a perfect world because we're on video, I did express those concerns. I would like for them to be addressed by the courts because Mr. Blackwell continues to take us to court. He's named me personally in multiple lawsuits. So therefore, when you read that affidavit and the public is open to read it, go to the court cases and all that stuff too, you'll see some of the lawsuits I'm named in are frivolous for the simple fact of the matter that for 11 to 12 years ago, or 11 to 12 years, my background was a portion of IT professionally. And that's why when people are tuning in and they hear me challenging and asking these questions about IT and stuff like that, I have the credibility to do so. A lot of times you all see me in some shorts and a t-shirt or a suit and tie, and they think everything is fine and dandy, because they don't realize that I actually was down in the dirt with the grunts doing the hard work on the front lines. I understand this stuff. When we were over at the police department installing those phones and things of that nature, it took us 20 hours and AT&T could not even assist us with technical support on their own equipment. We had to figure it out through a process of elimination. So I just wanted to address that because I didn't want the public to think that I'm intentionally tying up your tax dollars in the courts. We have people who file frivolous lawsuits on a daily basis that tie up your tax dollars and cost us upwards of $10,000 to $15,000, and that is just outrageous. I would be appalled if you told me my attorney bill for one person was $10,000 to $15,000, and it's coming out of my taxes. I'm a taxpayer too. I continue paying my taxes with my mortgage because it's rolled in there, and every time my house note increases, it's because of a lawsuit that we've had to settle because of a wrongdoing of an employee or wrongdoing of a citizen or somebody who's not a citizen that comes to this city and milks us and continues to extort us for our tax dollars. I'm sick and tired of being being treated like this as an elected official, because I'm told I don't have any type of defense to defend myself as I speak up for my citizens, my colleagues on this body, and my employees who work for the city of Inkster. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm finished.
Man,
You heard that.
Yeah, you got a yes, sir, on that one. 2 times.
Yeah.
Especially folks from our city don't even have nothing to do with us. And act like they really, yeah, thank you. I won't jump on your soapbox, but well said, Councilwoman Washington.
Okay, kind of what the my two other colleagues have stated about the HR position. I just wanted to ask a question in regards to our October to December 2020 monthly report, where it shows one possible hire, administrative assistant, and waiting on background check. So we are talking about new hirees, hires. So I would want to try to get information on that. And as well, I am asking for police presence in Steinhauer. I received a call on January the 17th in regards to a shooting at 7 a.m. in the morning. This is the same house that I had reported before to the chief of police in regards to Steinhauer back in October 2020. So I would really need some assistance with that, because when your residents are calling you saying that they had to lay on the floor because there's bullets flying everywhere, that's a big concern for me. As well, the last thing I wanted to mention, I want to give some resources to the community in regards to small business grants. There is a Michigan Small Business Survival Grant Program that will open on January 19th at 9 a.m., which was today, and it will close at noon on January the 22nd. This grant opportunity is for businesses who experience a significant financial hardship due to the recent COVID-19 executive orders. That grant gives up to $20,000 in rewards to businesses that are fully closed, and any businesses that are partially closed, it grants up to $15,000. So the details, I can give you guys the email address, and I'll send that to Felicia as well if she wants to, or I'm sorry, Troy, if you guys want to post it. But it's www.michiganbusiness.org/survival. So that's all I have.
Yeah, and I did share that with Trey already.
Okay.
So he's definitely putting that up onto the website and our social media platforms. Thank you for that information. All right, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yes, sir. I have a couple of things. The first is that I too share concerns about the HR position because of the intricacies involved in the insurance and all sorts of things like that. But if this can be mediated, I'll be more than willing to listen. The second thing is in reference to the laptops. Back in June, an email was sent to every council person asking if they were interested. And I only got one response. So, okay. The third thing is I'm concerned because in August 2020, a request was submitted for the establishment of a risk management commission. It was problematic just getting it on the agenda initially. However, it got there, and I motioned for it, and Councilman Chisholm supported it. When we went into discussion, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, my colleagues totally misconstrued what the intent of this commission was and voted against it, and the proposal failed, and it didn't happen. Fast forward to today. The December 2020 monthly report shows that you, in fact, brought Mr. Kenfise Mandisa, the person who is supposed to be in charge of the risk management commission, on board, and you're utilizing him in the exact same capacity that was recommended via the risk management commission proposal. I saw none of the names of the self-proclaimed risk management designees like Jerome Bivens or our insurance carriers or representatives as assisting in this report. The report was extensive and contained information we could have been receiving for the past 5 months, if not for the obfuscation of this body. I am confused and frankly appalled. It appears that yet again, the idea was undermined. I don't know if it was because I suggested it or that it was voted down, or that you failed to take the time to read and understand what was articulated. I have no clue. With that being said, my only question to the persons on this body that voted no, what is the difference in establishing a risk management commission versus not establishing a risk management commission and then still using the same personnel to do risk management duties? I'd like you all to answer that for me, because I don't understand what you're using him for now, and he volunteered to do 6 months ago is okay for him to do now. Still for nothing. He's still not an employee, but he's doing the job. So
he's been working with us for 6 months. I think after the motion failed, we talked about that on record, that I would use him to volunteer if he wanted to volunteer, that I had no problem with that. So he actually met with Deja Rose, and him and Deja worked together for a couple of months before he left, and Mr. Mendiza is actually on the call, so he can speak to this. This is nothing that just happened last week, or, Mr. Mendiza has been around since you introduced it to it. And that's why I thought it was a great idea as it relates to what you were proposing. So we just used him as a volunteer, and he's a citizen of Inkster, and he's an expert as it relates to risk management. So he's been working with this organization. That's why you have that report. And also to the consultant's report as it relates to HR and how HR should look and function in the city of Inkster. So Mr. Mendiza has been part of this whole process.
I'm not questioning us having it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying,
I thought you said, why bring him on?
No, I'm saying you're using him for the same thing that was suggested 5 months ago. And that's disingenuous. It really is.
So you said I shouldn't use him?
No, I'm saying that you're using him. That's what he was supposed to be doing 5 months ago. But it got voted down. I mean, the risk management
got voted down.
The risk management proposal got voted down. And now I see this big, long, extensive report that he's been doing when he could have been doing it all along.
He was. He had been. We just went through the holiday and all of that stuff. A lot of stuff has happened, but Mr. Mendiza has been around. But I get what you're saying. I think that you're saying that the body didn't agree, but I agree. And I'm using them and been using them since you brought them to me. So,
but I thought, well, if we have a resolution, then you have to come back.
No, we didn't form a commission. What Councilwoman Wiley was suggesting or proposing is that you form a commission where Mr. Mendiza would be a part of it, and then he would act as the liaison between council and the organization. Well, you voted that down, because it would have been a member from council, a member from different organization, it would have been like a 5-body member, a group, if I'm not mistaken, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yes, that's correct. Someone from the police department, someone from from fire. There would have been someone from Don Wall ordinance. They would have been a member of council.
Right.
And
I thought it made sense. At the same time, I know that Mr. Mendiza was the catalyst behind that. So he wanted to volunteer. So we ran him through everything that we needed to run him through as it relates to background check and all of that stuff. And he got to work. And he's been working, assessing HR and working directly with Mrs. Glover and Mrs. Rose, and with the HR consultant, the company that we use to bring in the temporary person. So we're trying.
Well, this is the first report I have seen from him, and I thought it was rather well put together. I haven't seen anyone in previous months from the work he's been doing. I'm just saying that the idea that it was voted down absolutely makes no sense to me when you're doing exactly what he offered to do. That's all.
Okay.
I'm through.
Okay. All right, then moving on. Let's see here. Councilman Shaw?
Yes. I just wanted a follow up with the cars, the police cars. Did we ever get the police cars, or where are we with the cars there?
Yeah, so we just had to make sure that we had clarification that it was 50,000 a year that we voted on per resolution. I think VJ asked that of the clerk, or what, about a couple of weeks ago, city clerk, if I'm not mistaken.
Right
Just to
now, I
make sure.
think what we need is
See last
letter
week.
of council.
Okay.
Is David still on here?
Oh, yeah, he should be.
He might be. He came in and out the meeting a couple times, so he might not be able to. Let me see if I can find his name. You said David, or yeah, he's on here. Hold on.
Yep.
So we know based off of the number. So basically, here it is in a nutshell. Based off of the number that we had, it was like 390 some thousand for the 6 vehicles. We said that we would split it in half, and would take us down to 50 or 200,000. So it was 50,000 a year for each budget year. But each year we got to come back and actually budget that money each year into that line item. Correct, VJ?
Yeah.
So it wasn't
That is
necessary.
correct, Mayor. And by the way, I am on here. I just couldn't unmute myself. I did receive an email from the treasurer last Friday, or well, you know what, it may have been yesterday because of the holiday, regarding a letter for council to obtain the lease, and my office is in the process of preparing that.
Okay.
All right, and also police patrol on Colonial Street, Helen Street, and also Woodland Street. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right. Councilman Williams, you're
I just want to
second
make
go at it.
It's been a long night, and one of the things I just like to say, you know, I found out all my life I lived in Inkster, you know, and you always hear people saying, well, we don't want this and we don't want that. I think it's time that we come together, okay, and be on one accord. Not only the council, the mayor, I'm talking about everybody in the city, because people, I found out that there's a whole lot of two-faced people in Inkster. They'll sit up and say, well, we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. And then when you hear them again, they come, oh yeah, I'm for that. You know, what I'm saying is this, okay, just like today, when we look at things, okay, you know, I understand what Regina's going through over there, and a lot of people saying, well, some people want the gas station down there on Evandale back open, some of them don't want it back open, okay, but they never looked at where this man talking about putting a gas station in a convenience store where there's nothing but woods there and darkness, and people walk through there all the time. You remember we fought to get the bus line up there? You remember that, Mr. Mayor, right there on that corner where she's talking about?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then when women go in there at nighttime, it's so dark up in there, ain't nothing but woods. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody's gonna clean that place up and make it look suitable coming down Michigan Avenue, I don't see how that's gonna be don't be an excess to Inkster. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that out. I don't, you know, that's her district. I ain't trying to go against her district, but the thing about it is that's already a serious area right there now. So if they're going to build a convenience store and a gas station there to upgrade that area, then we need that. And I just wanted to bring it out, and you know, and listen to people out here in Inkster. You know, we got to come together. You know, we got to come together. That's why we don't have anything. We divided all the time. You know, it's time that we come together, unify ourselves together and on one accord. We're going to disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable. Remember that.
You got anything else, Councilman?
That's it.
Okay. I saw, Legina, did you want to say something? Because I'm going to say this, though, to that, you know, and I don't want to be out of order because I still have Mayor Pro Tem to get to. That we definitely want development. At the same time, we want to set a level of development as developers are coming into the city, and a level of expectation for the community as well, as it relates to not creating another nuisance. So I get both sides of it, because I've heard, you know, just complaints from everybody, you know, or praise from everybody. It's a balance to it. So as administration and of course council, as we work together with our new developer in the community, we have expectations for them and how they, you know, manage their property as it relates to security, as it relates to, just the video cameras and working in conjunction with the police department. So it's just different measures that we can put in place, but also too, that actual place. Another thing is that we looked at different developments to do there, but it's the amount that it would cost the person to dig up the actual tanks in the ground is ginormous. So that was the biggest concern of what else could we have there. So this convenience store is going to be nice. It really is going to be nice. And we're going to do everything that we can do to set a standard there as it relates to crime and expectations from our community. Because it's our people, it's people that we know. So we just got to work. We got to figure it out together. So, okay, Mayor Pro Tem Howard. Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
On mute.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was on mute.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When I said one thing about it, when I raise concerns, it's not the concerns to go against you or anybody else. We took an oath to protect the city of Inkster. And that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I did it 4 years ago and I'm doing it now. I'm not changing that. So when I feel something that doesn't seem right, and I know it's not right, I will express my concerns. And it's not that when you made that comment that I'm going against you, we all have to listen to somebody, whether we like it or not. And we all should take a heed if somebody is saying something. I wouldn't be saying this if I wasn't truly concerned and know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, I work with HR. Okay, I know the laws, half of them, but I can't do it. But at the same time, I know she's not. And I'm just protecting the city of Inkster. It ain't got nothing to do with no individual. It's because at the end of the day, we are the city of Inkster. And that's what I'm trying to protect. So if we don't do it now, if we don't do it now, we're going to pay later. Because it's going to be some mess-ups. Believe me. And then everybody coming in, working with all of this confidential stuff, people's stuff is out there. They're hot. They may not have said nothing to you, but your employees are hot. So that may not be the last that you hear of. So that's what I'm saying. I want to thank, one more thing. I want to thank Councilman Chisholm. I could not get on my computer, could not get on my Zoom, and he walked me through it. Nurse Express, I'm gonna give him a chance, but as of right now, I'm not happy. But I'm gonna give him a chance. But we never had this problem because we had hands-on. I never had a problem getting on my computer. Never had a problem logging in. I can always call Brent or call whatever. They was at the office. That's something I'm probably gonna have to get used to. But, so thank you, Chisholm, for helping me last night, logging onto my computer to get on Zoom for tonight. That's all I have, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me just say this again, and maybe Mayor Pro Tem, I don't want to take it out of context. I just want to make sure that we're working together. I would say that you come in and actually talk to me and we work together, especially if you have expertise in human resources, knowing that our funds are limited and we've been going after people, trying to recruit people to take the position. And Rhonda has been one of the people that's been helping us trying to get people into the position. But you're talking about $48,000, and we know that for an organization like ours, 80,000 is even low. So it's just what it is. We know we're a municipality. If we can get that salary up to 60, 65, we may get a different caliber of person in. However, the work doesn't stop. Understand that things that we're dealing with that comprehensive report that you have from Mr. Mendisa, Rhonda Glover, and Emory Consultants is years of things that haven't been done. Years of things. So I would say that you look at that report and then schedule some time so we can come together and then we can have another conversation as we try to move this community forward together. All right. Lastly, I think everything is for the most part decent and in order. We want to continue to stay safe. as it relates to the governor's orders. Make sure you're wearing your masks in all stores when you're out in public, keeping your social distance. COVID it's just maturing. It's another strand out there, so be careful. This is not the end. The fire chief is he's our point person as it relates to us. All things COVID, we're looking to put together now access points throughout the community for people to get the vaccination. So we are working with the governor's team as it relates to that. Also, too, as you heard tonight, Western Wayne Family Health Center is looking to possibly get the vaccine as well. So we will be working in conjunction with them and hopefully Oakwood Health to administer the vaccine. So we'll keep you updated with that. All right, if all minds are satisfied, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Anybody want to stay? Say nay. All right. Motion carries. You all have a good week.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.